What's up, good people? What's up, good people? We are back in here, back at it, ready to go, ready to get this thing started. Ready to get this thing started. Come on in. Still getting things going here. See, a few people made it. Oh, shit. A few people walked right in the building. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in as we get this thing going. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in as we get this thing going. Let's get ready to go. Let's start. Where's it at? Where's it at? Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
All right. Apologize for a small bit of dead air. I was upstairs getting coffee ready to go. See, people are already filing on in. I appreciate that. And let me send that link out. To Obsidian so we can get this thing going. And there it is. Okay. All right. The link is out. Now let me check in the chat and see what you niggas are talking about. Shout out to the early bird squad. Those are making it bright and early before we even get things started. You come right on through, drop a comment, and hopefully hit the like button before we even get things going. I appreciate each and every one of you. The Mac the Trucker in the building says, what's good, everybody? Little Rock 2517 in the building. Golden Eagle in the building. What's up? Salute to you. Electric. I'm looking for the R in there. No, eclectic. Okay, no, that's full. I cancel so I can't see. Let me wake up. Eclectic. I wanted to say I was looking for electric. I was like, that word is not quite right, but I see now. Eclectic. Okay. Eclectic agitator. Okay. All right. Got you. Rocco Killer 7 says, yeah, here we go. Tiger Boss in the building was good, brethrens. What's up? Vanta Black in the building was good. MVP in the building. How somebody already hit the dislike button, shaking my head. Yeah, a couple haters gonna come through. Couple haters gonna hate. Hood Conservatives culture and politics review says nothing has changed, nor will anything change. That's his perspective. Yes, it's interesting. It is interesting. Shout out to the lead attorney in the building, says Bernard Riley. Salute, Bernard. By the way, what streaming software do you use? Yes, this is StreamYard. Absolutely. A few people have been asking me that because I suppose they don't know how to do the whole little. So a few people have been asking me that question. They're like, are you sure this is StreamYard you're using? But yeah, no, this is StreamYard. This is definitely StreamYard. But shout out to the lead attorney. Got one of the coolest channels going on YouTube right now. I really love what that brother does. I always shout him out whenever I see him come through. But without further ado, as we just hit 100 people in the building, 105 exactly. And that's a good reminder for me to pull this up on YouTube. When I got it up on StreamYard, I can't see the actual feed, which means I haven't hit the like button myself. So let me lead by example and hit the like button. We got 103 people in the building, 49 on the likes. We should be able to bump that right up to 75 because I think the people that come in bright and early are the people that actually rock with me. So make sure y'all hit that like button. And the lead attorney just came through. Okay, all right. It's your fault. You donated $10. Now I know you run a dignified program, but over here we have something called the $10 Nation. And when you donate $10, I'm forced to play it. Even though you probably don't approve of this message here, but you shouldn't have super chatted $10.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything? Everything.
Yeah, that was your fault, lead attorney. I know you're a dignified gentleman. You didn't want me to attach that to you, but hey, you super chat $10, I gotta play it. But no, appreciate you, lead attorney. He says, yeah, that 5 on it is nice. LOL. Play it twice. Oh, see, that's why I gotta read super chats. He said play it twice for me. See, if I would have read it all the way through, I would have realized that you just wanted to. I'm sorry. If I would have read the super chat all the way through, I would have knew. Oh man, that's funny. He told me to play it twice, play the 5 on it twice, instead of putting the working lady next to your name. Oh man. Obsidian, come save me, man. I'm out here struggling.
Hey,
what's going on, Obsidian?
How you feeling, man? Yeah, I'm warming up some tea, so we can get into this thing. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. And
the lead attorney, man, I've seen his work. Don't always agree with him, but I agree that we need more brothers like him coming into the black manosphere. So good people can disagree, and hopefully we can have him on your show and my show. We need more brothers. We need more legal eagles to come in. The black manosphere needs that. Black men need that. We need to get comfortable with the idea of having counselors. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff that we go back and forth about, and he will break it down legally. So that's why I find it interesting when we don't got to get into whatever he said that you disagreed with.
Yeah,
But
that's another thing for another day. Yeah,
yeah, but the legal aspect of it is not that much to agree or disagree. I mean, when he gives his opinion, okay, somebody can agree or disagree on that. But when he's breaking down legally,
and that's exactly what I'm talking about. His non-legal opinion. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. His non-legal opinion. Okay, you can find some disagreement on that, but I love when he just shoot it right down the middle on what the law, how the law works, what the law is, and what's going to happen if A, B, and C happens. Then this is how it works. This is where it's going to go. This is the next step. He breaks it. He breaks it down. I
saw him doing a video about the Derrick Jaxn situation, and that was a very good analysis. How he broke it down. What were to happen were indeed he got a divorce. How would things progress? Who would get what? Who shot John and all the rest of it?
Yeah. He breaks that down a lot, and people talk about that a lot. How people talk about losing everything in the divorce, and I definitely understand that. I've been through a divorce. I didn't have millions to lose, but I did get gut punched, and I was unprepared. But yeah, he broke down something that goes against manosphere conventional wisdom, where everybody says prenups are toilet paper. He gave an alternative opinion on that.
No. See, with a lot of brothers, and I'm no legal expert, obviously, but a number of legal brothers have told me, and maybe the lead attorney would agree or disagree on this. They told me that the trick with the prenup is that you essentially got to structure it such that she gets cashed out. So let's say, for sake of argument, Bernard's very successful now. He's worth $100 million. Okay, him and his lady get married. They structure a prenup where, in the event of a divorce within 5 to 10 years, Bernard has to cash her out $10 million. No matter what, he's got to cash her out $10 million. She don't get half. She can't get half, because a lot of brothers are, she ain't getting half. She don't get half. She gets $10 million. 5 to 10 years, she gets $10 million. See, a lot of brothers, this is what I was told by various black male lawyers now. This is what I was told by them. A lot of brothers don't want to give black women nothing. and they're not going to, the judge isn't going to let you get away with just not getting them nothing at all. You got to give them something. So the prenup is there. This is my understanding of it. The lead attorney can correct me on this. The prenup is there, structured in such a way that you essentially give her a payout, but it's nothing near, she ain't getting half, ain't nothing like that.
Yeah, I've always said that, and I was happy when he worded it the way that he worded it, because I do believe it has to be fair. I always use the phrase, you can't just send her back to the projects. That ain't right. Especially if she got kids, and even if they're splitting the kids half the time, so the kid's going to spend half the time in a mansion with you and the other half the time in the projects with her. No, she got to get something. If you're worth 100 million, I was saying bare minimum after 5 to 10 years, you worth 100 million. She bare minimum, should get 5. But she did, let's say if it's a basketball player, no, she didn't make not one fadeaway jump shot, or ain't dunk on nobody, or win no championships. She don't deserve half. But 5 million, that's reasonable.
You gotta pay to play, fellas. You gotta.
And also, I'm not even getting into that, even though we shout out to $10 Nation over here. But damn, what was I going to say? It's shit. I forgot what I was going to say. It was something.
Well, why are you trying to come up with that? What the lawyer brothers told me, and again, the lead attorney's in the building, so he can confirm or deny this. He said it was several of them. They told me, when you see a situation with brothers, she ain't getting half. When you see a situation like that, the judge interprets your attempt not to give the ex-wife anything, and you're trying to be greedy. That's when they throw the book on you, and then she ain't getting half. That sort of thing happens. That's
Okay.
what happened.
And just for the record, that she ain't getting half. Okay, I've heard brothers talk about half. I've never heard anybody scream it out like that. But that's Obsidian. That's not me. I don't understand brothers being passionate about wanting to protect their money. But something that he said that jumped out to me. He said the way you can get an airtight prenup, and it was interesting. And I do want to hear what people that object to it has to say on it, is that yes, you get a lawyer, you and your lawyer get it drawn up, get it signed, get it done, take it to her. She go get her own separate lawyer, and her lawyer look at it, they sign it. Then you got two separate lawyers who was in on it, and then it has to be given to her 6 months prior to the wedding. A lot of prenups get thrown out when guys hand a woman a prenup when she's about to come down the altar. That was for 3 days or a week before the wedding. So it's some interesting stuff there. It's more to learn there, put it like that. I thought I knew and generally understood it, but he did say some things that bare minimum just led me down a path of researching something, just learning something new.
Well, see, this is the reason why, when you got something going for you, fellas, and you don't have to be a millionaire now to do this. You got something going for you. We all know what it is. The high value man, 6-figure a year type of piece. If you're in that realm and up, you owe it to yourself to get a lawyer and discuss these things. Because that, and I see some brothers in the background talking about, well, see, we got to be like our good brother Ramil, pump and dump. Now, no doubt. I mean, me and Ramil, we're both bachelors of varying stripe, both hedonists of varying stripe. But you got to be careful with that too now. Because the age in which we live, you got to be very careful. You got to be careful. See, my thinking is this.
But you got to be careful with everything. That goes without saying. You
got to be careful. See, my thinking is this. I was watching a video of a brother, young brother. His name escapes me right now. He's like a rapper. I'll send it to you. Very like a local LA rapper, but he does very well on YouTube. He's got like over 600,000 subscribers. Like he's nipping on the heels of Kevin Samuels, who we're going to talk about in a minute. And he was talking about how he had gotten with this Instagram model chick. And he goes over to her house. This is out in LA now. He goes over to her house and they're getting ready to, get in a little something. She stopped him. She said, "How much you going to pay me?" He said, "Excuse me?" He said, "Yeah, you want to explore all this here, you got to pay." And then she went on to say that not only is it like that with her, but the overwhelming majority of the Instagram models, many of whom she personally knew, that's how they get down. Now, I know, you're tricking, prostitution, whatever. I'm just simply saying, Brandon Rashad, that's his name. Thank you for the brother in the chat room. Brandon Rashad, excellent video. I'm going to do my own commentary on it because I got to, I got to needle the game guys a little bit. But in any event, he had said that she told him that, a lot of the rappers and athletes, ballers and that sort of thing, they paying out of pocket. They paying 2 and 3 bands and et cetera, so forth to have an evening. So what am I saying? I'm saying, look, which is better? I mean, now again, we're, a brother like Rashad, brother that's successful. Which is better? 3 bands or 3 million? Which is better? See, to me, it's a no-brainer. 3 bands, I'll go for 3 bands over 3 million.
Hold on, wait, where did 3 million come from?
Well, again, if you in a situation where you get married, like you had talked about the NBA players, and we all remember, for example, Kevin Garnett, that situation. There have been many others. A situation like that where you end up, you got to get half, that sort of thing. Instead, you just go ahead and just say, look, a couple bands, we do what we do, and that's that. It's a matter of the lesser of two evils.
I'm still not understand. Are you talking about marrying this chick?
Well, in the case of a marriage, because a lot of these guys marry these women.
It sounds like from the beginning of the conversation you was talking about a guy just hooking up with an Instagram chick.
Just hooking up for sex. That's right. But
so what did that got to know? 3 million is not on the table right there.
Right. Hang on. But a lot of these guys get married because they want that hot chick they can continue to bang.
Okay, yeah, that's stupid.
Well,
if you got it like that and you got money like that and you live in that lifestyle, you should be able to go from hot chick to hot chick. So I don't understand.
But that's just it. Here's the other thing though. as Pablo also pointed out, you're also paying for discretion. So to me,
Yeah, I get that, but when you
yeah,
connect 3 million to that, that's just
well, because
marriage wasn't an option on the table
there's
if
the
you're
marriage,
talking about some skank.
there's the marriage part. There's also the other piece too. A lot of sisters try to get you for palimony. Listen, man, when you're in Bernard, or what's his name? Rashad, I can't remember his name. The brother that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
He made a really good point. You know, man, when you're in that realm, sisters are gunning for you, man. They're gunning for you, and they'll try to get you any way they can.
yeah, they can gun for me all they want. I got Captain America's shield, Wonder Woman
You're going to need it.
bracelets.
You're going to need it. You're going to need it because you know a lot of women in that realm, and to his credit, the brother Rashard, to his credit, he said he got the tattoos and so forth. He said he's in a space now where that's pretty much the realm of women he can deal with, because let's face it, women in more straight-laced society, I guess you could say, he wouldn't appeal to them. So he's pretty much more or less locked into the situation he was talking about. So you have to really be careful about that. I mean, it really took him aback. The video that I saw, it was done early this month, really took him aback. But he said, I just wanted to share it with brothers out there, even if you're not in the lifestyle that I'm in, just so you know.
Yeah.
These ladies on Instagram, man, they're not, you got to pay to play, man. Is that
right. Okay. Daryl L in the building with the $10 super chat.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything, everything. You.
JT in the building says, I got 5 on it. Where is that? And the lead attorney says, Bernard Riley, invite me on soon, brother. Let's talk about it. Yes, we will. We sent just a couple emails. We gotta get a time going. We don't even, probably best not be a live show, because I don't want you to get caught up in potential nonsense that goes on my live show. But we could do like a nice pre-recorded, like how you and O'Shea do. We could set it up something like that. And I will put it in my community tab for brothers that got questions. Shoot me all the possible questions. I want to ask him every imaginable question. So definitely, I want to get that done. I do want to pick your brain on a lot of stuff, but it's worth being said, circling back to the what we were saying about marriage. Just a lot of people in the chat was saying, hey, just don't get married. If you got to do all that, just don't get married. Hey, brother, just don't get married. And I agree 100%. I agree 100%. So I'm not in the business of trying to convince men who don't want to get married to get married. Only brothers who want to do that, who want the family, who want the whole works and all of that, and got a traditional mindset. If they wish to do that, all I want them to be is as educated as possible while they're doing it, if they choose to do it. But your brothers, shout out to Ramil, Pumping Dumb Nation. By all means, I am not about twisting the arm of a brother like Ramil. Man, you need to get married. No, he don't. He absolutely do not need to get married.
Now, what I would say in the case, and it was interesting because I was having a discussion on Facebook about this.
Oh shoot!
This discussion about polygamy keeps coming up in the Black community, and I was the only one in the discussion talking about the legality of it. And the reason why I talk about the legality of it, and this brings us to Kevin Samuels. Big shout out to St. Kevin, and big congratulations to him. He has beaten Derrick Jaxn in terms of YouTube subscribers. Mm-hmm. He has surpassed him in 700 plus thousand the other day. And big kudos to him. Nothing but continued success. I fully suspect that he will crack 1 million before the first half of 2021 is out. Yep. And here's the reason why I brought up the legal piece. And this is something that Black folks are very averse to, but we need to pay serious attention to. You know, Kevin often talks about die alone. You know, The ladies don't do thus, and so they're gonna die alone. Buy a dog, woof woof, die alone. I have talked about it in terms of, do you have a hospice care plan? Earlier this week, Wednesday, a close neighbor of mine, only about 2 doors down from me, died. She was found after the police essentially had to break into her apartment, and she was found unresponsive in her bed, surrounded by her pets. She had 3 dogs and several cats. When she wasn't heard from by her co-workers Tuesday afternoon, about 4:30 thereabout, because they wanted to discuss the George Floyd verdict. She was scheduled to report into work. She never did. And they called out the police the next day. These are all white people, I might add. The lady, the deceased, white, all the concerned, co-workers and friends, white. And they discovered her body early afternoon the next day. I got to tell you, I have a hard time seeing a scenario happen like that for a lot of black women. I happen to know brothers who are constables. They often tell me stories about how they have to go out to homes and account for ladies who have expired, often in various states of decomposure. Okay. Black. At least this lady, the deceased, who was white, at least she was found relatively early on, and some measure of dignity is in that. What the Black Manosphere talks about, and what St. Kevin in particular is talking about, is a very real thing. And, we have a lot of, yucks about it, and we slapped on the back, and we, locker room humor, boys will be boys, sure. But at root, it's a real thing here. This lady, the deceased, did indeed receive a coronavirus vaccine shot 2 weeks previous. I do not know, and I want to stress this, I do not know if that played a role in her demise. I don't know that. But what I do know is that she was alone. She had no man, no mate, no husband, and her next of kin is quite far away. And if it wasn't for her co-workers who cared enough about her to come see about her when she didn't report in for work, she might still be in her apartment right now, decomposing and whatever else, with her 3 dogs and several cats. Okay? This on the heels of DMX, this on the heels of Black Rob, this on the heels of the late Shock G of the Digital Underground, Mr. Humpty Hump himself. Okay? This is a very serious piece here. And this goes to the point that me and you and Kevin and many brothers in the Black Manosphere talk about all the time. If you're going to go it alone, you need a plan. You need a plan. And it can't be something vague, because black folks, we love doing the vague stuff. It's just vague. No, you need specifics. It goes back to brothers like the lead attorney. You need an attorney. If you're not going to get married, if you're not, we're talking about women, but this goes for the guys too. If you're not going to get married, that's how you're going to lead your life. You need a plan. See, marriage, and I say this as a lifelong bachelor, but I understand this. Marriage is the easy way to order life, because everything's kind of built into it. Something happens to you, your spouse takes over in your stead. That's how that works. But if you're not married, then at best it becomes a gray area, and more often than not, your next of kin steps in.
So all of that you said was just a long-winded way to make a case for marriage?
What it is making the case for is that you got to have a plan. I agree with Kevin on this point. He often says to the ladies, listen, all that, Gyna King, I saw one brother in the chat room call it Peter Tingle, like Spider-Man, the Peter Tingle, all that Peter Tingle and jawline and all that stuff. Listen, man, you're going to need somebody to look out for you. Especially in the case you mess around and keel over. You want to need somebody to deal with the last affairs and all the rest of it. You want to need something. Now, if you're not getting married, you're going to need something.
Right on. Real. Let me get caught up on the super chat real quick. The lead attorney says, thank you for the $20 super chat, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate you. He says, it's true that you have to be fair in most states. First, if you don't want to be fair, then just don't get married. Amen. Second, like Bernard said, if she has a lawyer, then it's hard to say that the prenup is not fair or signed under duress, as they quite often say. But shout out to the lead attorney. We definitely got to set that up. Shout out to Clue. Shout out to Mr. Shane Vicious. He says, I told you it's better to get the bill up front. Scratch that.
Yeah, let's go, man. I got $2 for you, man. I know I'm a little short, but you come.
What's going on interesting in the chat? Let me see if I can. Oh, okay, hold on. I think I'm stumbling across. We got one of those in here.
What's that now?
Look at this. Belinda.
Yeah,
okay, you still die alone. And because you have a spouse doesn't mean you can't die alone. She's been posting what if your spouse died first and you still die alone? I'll tell you exactly what I think about what she doing. Hold on.
Don't you see we handling grown folks' business? Damn. Now shut the hell up.
All right, that's how I feel about that. I don't got that Dolomite that bitch. Are you for real? that
you really like that? Huh?
I love that. I'm not gonna steal it from you, but
are you for real?
Play it again. I was talking. Play it again.
Yeah, I love that.
Bitch, are you for real?
Yeah, I'm not gonna steal it from you, but when you're over here, feel free to bring Dolomite with you as much as possible. Bring him with you every time you come, because we don't need him when they start coming with stuff like that. But yeah,
and it's interesting. I'm glad that the sister is here because she's indicative of what I'm talking about. A lot of black women, sad to say, because a lot of black women like her. They're stiff-necked. They can't be reasoned with. Tommy Sotomayor was on to something when he likened a lot, not all, but a lot of black women to the Terminator. When the iconic scene where Reese is, trying to talk to what's her name? And Sarah Connor, yeah. And he's telling, listen, you can't reason with them, man. He doesn't have any pity or remorse. Tommy Sotomayor was on to something with that. There are black women you just cannot reason with, man. This situation that happened to this lady. I saw this lady. I just saw her alive. She died on Wednesday. I just saw her alive Tuesday morning walking her dog. Wednesday afternoon, she was dead. No next to kin. She's estranged from her next to kin. People say in the chat room, well, of course, your mom or dad or your sister or brother takes over it. What if you're estranged from them? She's estranged from her family, man. Her co-workers from the job had to go and get her. Okay?
I don't get the objection when you talk about that, because even the odds of, okay, what if the spouse died first and then you die 2 years later? Then didn't you die alone? Well, God damn it, you didn't live alone if you had somebody. What woman want to grow old alone? Like, I sleep easy. Like, my mom is, I'm about to turn 39 real soon. My mom would be 59. So she's she's
and
20. And so wait, hold on. But I rest easier at night knowing that she's married. She married a construction worker, but back when I was like in the 7th grade, they still married. They had a few little rocky moments in the marriage, but at the end of the day, they worked it out. They stayed together. He got a cozy safety job with the company where he could retire. He might retire and then just come back to work because he said his job's so easy and he makes so much money. He might just keep working. He's about 64, 65. I forgot how old he is, but either way it go. My mom, she's going to go into her 60s. She's not working no more. She had a couple little health issues, but she don't got to work no more. She cool. She laid back. She's chilling. Her life is easier from marrying a construction worker when they were in their 30s. Just so, and that's why I don't grab guys by the collar, tell them they need to get married. I'm not doing that. But I do don't understand the women who object to this just from just the simple math of it. Like I sleep easier at night knowing that my mom is okay. She got a husband who's a hardworking dude, and they're happy, and she's getting old, and she's comfortable in the situation that she's getting old in, and I don't have to worry about it. Now, if he died, then yes, I may have to step up and do some things, but I do believe he got some things in place. So she's good. My mom is good. I don't gotta lose sleep worrying about my mom.
Yeah.
And so that's where I don't get the women pushing back on this. Okay, if my mom's husband, if he dies before her, let's just say he dies 10 years from now, and that'll put her at 69. So from 69 until she dies, okay, she would de facto be alone, but she didn't go into her old age alone. And there were provisions and things set up. So women pushing back, come on, like that's just utter, just bitter, stubborn stupidity. I don't get that.
And the other thing with that too is, I realize that not all of us are not going to get married. I mean, that seems to be something that some of us still seem to be hanging on to.
Men, let me just say this: men shouldn't want to get married. Given the way these chicks react to some of these conversations. I'm talking about in the
general discourse, because this is true.
I just wanted to
black men and black women.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
But I also try to be a realist, and the situation is that all black people ain't gonna get married, man, and we need to have a plan, a life plan. For the sisters who are like the sister in the chat room, what is your plan? When I ask, do you have a hospice care plan? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being, because I mean, do you really want to go out the way my neighbor, who was white, do you really want to go out the way she did? And that was tame compared to a lot of sisters. Like I said, I know a lot of police officers who, they have to go and collect bodies of black women, and it's not pretty. So you got to do something. You need an attorney. We'll use the sisters first. You need an attorney. You need to work out the details. Who's going to be called to do what. What final arrangements are going to be made? What about your estate? All these things have to be worked out in detail. Not some shooting from the hip stuff. And GoFundMe and all that. And for the fellas, this is true too. I just saw our good friend and brother Pablo. He just said his number one fear as a single man wasn't dying alone, but that the state would take his estate. So, we're talking a lot about, striving to be the best version of yourself, being successful, becoming a high value man. That's an estate, brother. You got a business, you got a successful business, that's an estate. Who's going to get that when you leave? So this is where, the attorney brother comes in handy. Brothers like him, brothers like Brother Sperling, Dennis Sperling Esquire. That's where brothers like them become really, really important. Because these things have to be discussed. If you're going to be like me and like Ramil and you're not going to get married, the estate has to be dealt with. That's a real question there. And to be brutally frank, we don't do anywhere near enough discussion about that. I'm talking about the black manosphere now. We don't do anywhere near that type of a discussion that we should. We spend a lot of time, and we all laugh and joke. I do too. She ain't getting half. But the truth is, most of us ain't getting married. You just look at the numbers. The numbers bear it out. Most of us are not going to get married, man. That's a reality in Black American life today. So we need to have a different life plan. You know, I often, joke with people. All this discussion about dating coaches and game coaches and all the rest of it. You know what we need? You know what Black America needs? Black America needs end of life coaches. That's what we need. So we don't have all this chaotic stuff. You know how it is in the Black funerals, all chaotic, and there's a reason for it.
I was just about to say that back many moons ago when I used to go to church. The bishop he would speak about that all the time, how Black funerals are the saddest. People crying and screaming and trying to dive down into the ground with the person, and just because nobody had a plan. He used to talk about that. He said white people they cry, they weep a little bit, and then they bury the dead and they okay because somebody had a simple life insurance policy that you could have been paying $50 a month on, to where the world isn't ending. Yes, you're just sad because you lost somebody you love, but that's it. You're not figuring out how the rest of the pieces of life are going to be picked up, because you had a plan, you made provisions, you did this, you did that, or just a simple life insurance policy that's going to pay for the funeral, going to pay for the things that the dead person, if he died and this had to get paid for, this had to get taken care of. It could pay for that, and it could have a little cushion, a little extra money for somebody left behind, a widow or whatever, little money to help get her through, or maybe a lot of money to help get her through. And it just makes it easier. Yes, it's easier to have a plan. We do need a death plan. do need to hire somebody to start planning our deaths. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Mr. Shane Bitches in the building. Hold on, let me get caught up on these super chat. Mr. Shane Bitches in the building with the $1, $2, $3.
Man, I got $2 for you, man. I know I'm a little short, but you can.
Shout out to Mr. Shane Bitches on that, and shout out to Michael Ross in the building with the $5 super chat. Hopefully I didn't miss nobody. Oh, I see Snuggles down there. Hold on, I'm gonna come up real quick. Almost missed Deacon Dave in the building. He says, if you do it right, he might leave you the money. Y'all don't build by yourself at all. Shout out to Deacon Dave in the. Appreciate you. We also got who was that? I saw. Okay. Aluwazine. Okay, James. Hey, I can just go with James. I'm not going to even try your first name there. Fellas, get your finances straight. Get your passport and travel to Ghana, Tanzania, Colombia, etc. Don't settle for Western women. Live your life, bruh. Live your life. Shout out to you. Appreciate the $5. Appreciate the super chat. And we also have the one and only who was around here masquerading as a man all this time. And actually, I won't say masquerading. She just never confirmed or denied. But we did actually find out that Snuggles is a woman. So shout out to Snuggles, the $5 super chat champion of the world, who has earned her own special.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive.
Shout out to Snuggles. She says, is it that men won't get married, or is it that the mindset that the men see that they are getting, that they cannot afford to get married? I think what she's saying is that, the mindset of women in the culture, or this or that or blah blah blah, is so out there, so far gone, that it's not even a good idea at this point to even proceed forward. I think that's what she's saying. And for some people, I do believe some people have definitely drawn that conclusion that these chicks ain't marriageable out here at this point. I think a lot of people have definitely drawn that conclusion.
So here's where I'm at with that. So, okay, fine. We get that. You know, black people are very stiff-necked people.
What does that mean, stiff neck? You said it twice. What is
very, very stubborn people?
Gotcha.
And, you know, we are where we are. I accept that. So we have to move forward. So the way we move forward is everybody's got to be responsible for themselves. Everybody's got to have a life plan. I think we need to ease. I'm saying this as a dating coach myself. We need to ease up a little bit on that and put the gas a little bit more on end of life coaches. What's going to be your succession plan? I'm talking to the fellas now. What's going to be your succession plan? If you're going to be like Ramil, you're going to be like me, you're not going to have any kids, you're not going to get married. Okay, great. What's going to be your succession plan? What's that going to look like? And that's the reason why I said we need more brothers like the real attorney. We need more brothers like him.
Lead attorney.
The lead attorney. We need more brothers like him. We need a lot more of them because a lot of brothers are not going to get married. And the things that your wife would normally step in to do, you're going to have to do now. And that goes beyond cooking and cleaning.
Okay, I have no idea what well, I could imagine she said something stupid, but B. Linda, registered nurse, BSN, was hidden by Ike. So I'm assuming she did something stupid. She must have inappropriately touched an official, and it is time to get her the fuck out of here. Goodbye. All right, she's gone. She's gone. Thank you, Ike, for getting rid of her. And now we back on to the show. Okay. Shout out to Justin March. I don't got nothing for the $4, but I would definitely. All right, Timothy Blunt in the building. Appreciate you. We also got my main man, Osama Abdu. He says, BRNO man, a team for the ages. He says, great show. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate.
Let's go, man. I got $2 for you, man. I know I'm a little short, but you know, you come.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
No, there was a brother in the chat room said Obsidian is on point about getting your stuff in order, but a lot of people don't know where to start or when. Well, Bernard already said it. Start with a life insurance policy. Start with that. That's matter of fact, that's the easiest step.
Mm-hmm.
Start with a life insurance policy. You can get them from work. Excuse me, your bank can get. I mean, there's all different ways you can get a life insurance policy. Real easy, doesn't cost a lot. Start with that, and you can go from there. You know,
and you can set it and forget it. They can just start taking X amount of $50 a month out of your account, and you don't even notice. You don't even miss it. Yeah, or. Well, depending on your age, you get older, it's gonna cost a little more. But I'm looking at it in terms of younger people, because I think you should just get it young and set it and forget it. But that's where I'm at with it. And make sure all your people, your parents. I'm sitting there laughing because at the Bunker TV, he clipped a funny part of my show. But let me shout out Nerdine real quick. He said, wow, Mr. Kevin Samuels destroyed the crown. Now that is something I could put 5 on. Thank you very much. Now the Bunker TV typed an interesting math problem into the chat where it was what did it say? BM plus BBM plus FF plus Pookie equals, and then an emoji of a black baby. I had to do the niggonometry and figured out that was black man plus black baby mama plus female fuckery plus Pookie equals black baby. So it was a niggonometry equation that he put on the screen that I figured out. He clipped that and put it on his channel. It was funny as hell. So shout out to Bunker TV. Definitely made me laugh when I when I was scrolling down YouTube and saw that part of my show that you clipped. So shout out to you for that. I'll give you a shout out. So a lot of people clip the little funny parts of the show. Shout out to Stream Team Memes. I don't mind y'all trolling. Long as it ain't mean spirited, we having a little fun with it. But all right. Like I shout you out right there for making me laugh something vicious when I saw the clip, because I didn't realize how funny it was on the show until I rewatched the clip when you put it out there. That shit, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So shout out to you. All right, sorry. Where were we? Where were we?
No, I was just simply saying that's the easiest step is just get a life insurance policy, and you can go from there. I mean, well, I would say start there. You consider having a discussion with brothers like the lead attorney about the matters of probate, estate, power of attorney. You know, though that will be a good discussion to have. Good investment. You know,
Definitely.
I mean, we're in the midst of a pandemic, folks. I mean, it ain't over. It ain't over till it's over. The last pandemic we had, which was the Spanish flu a century ago, took about roughly 3 years to work itself out. I'm suggesting it may be the same with this situation, which means we got another year to go, year and a half. So, you know, look, just make sure all of your affairs are in order, fellas. If you're not going to have a wife, and here's the other thing too, that common law stuff, dead it. Common law is very rare now. Very few states in the union have common law marriage, so that ain't gonna work either. If you're not going to get legally married, you're going to stay legally single, fine. You need a plan for the rest of your life. You need a plan, period. We'll talk.
All right. Come on, little big Nate. We don't do that here. Calling it a pandemic. I'm not with y'all on that one. But all right. All right, we almost an hour in. So let's dig into the main topic here. Let's get right into it. Kevin Samuels, as most of you know, as we pointed out on the show yesterday, that Kevin Samuels has definitely, no doubt, surpassed Derrick Jaxn. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't actually know it would happen this soon, but Kevin Samuels right now, as we speak, has 731K subscribers, and I'm gonna say it, the late great. I don't know why I put late by his name, but the great Derrick Jaxn has right now still a whopping 722K subscribers. So Kevin Samuels has surpassed Derrick Jaxn. He's no longer dropping any content anywhere, if I'm not mistaken. And even when he tried to tiptoe in through the back door and just drop a little RIP, would have had a picture of DMX saying, rest RIP to the legend, or blah blah blah, this or that, and he couldn't even do that without people jumping, without people applying pressure. Like, nah, you don't get to try to sneak back in and try to get us to like you or talk or just acknowledge you or try to just get back into a conversation on some DMX sympathy. No. You don't get to do none of that. So people came at him for that. He couldn't even post a RIP to DMX without people attacking him. So it's almost like he's done. I don't see how he could post anything, how he could do anything, and his de facto replacement, for lack of a better way to even describe or explain it, is Kevin Samuels, who's having some very hard-hitting manospherian conversations over there. It's not just how to get a high-value man, like I always say. That's the shiny object that brings them into the door. But when they come in and have a seat, they're talking about basically just having just a raw conversation about a lot of things that men talk about on our YouTube channels here in what is known as the manosphere. So there's implications for that. There are some people who are still critics and still say, it don't matter. And I understand where they're coming from, but I have a hard time believing that somebody on a platform that big spitting the type of information, type of stuff that we talk about in the manosphere, that he's just spitting it out there to a platform that big to where everybody is hearing it, from the celebrity up to down to just the regular average Joe person, male and female, because I do believe his audience is bare minimum 50% male, 50% female. That's part of the secret sauce, that he makes a show that's appealing to men and women. So with that happening, if we look at the total implications of it, to where the biggest outlet that women used to go to get information about men was a pander fest where they just were told what they want to hear. And now they're being told what I believe what they need to hear on this massive of a scale. What are the implications going forward? What say you, Mumia, Obsidian, Ali?
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic because on the one side, we're celebrating in the Black manosphere, and it's very poignant for me. But on the other side, it's almost like a Pyrrhic victory, and the reason why I say that is because, as you pointed out,
is it a Pyrrhic victory?
Yeah,
because you got to explain Pyrrhic for the people that don't know what it is.
Yeah,
By people that don't know what it is, I mean me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because while Kevin has surpassed Derrick, Derrick still remains, a stone throw away from 1 million subs on YouTube alone. That's not counting his Facebook and Instagram presence. So now you're looking at well into the millions, which, Kevin is doing pretty well on Instagram in his own right, not as much on Facebook. But the point is that even with this victory that Kevin has, and we all can lay some measure of claim to in the Black manosphere to a certain extent, because of the argument, because of what Kevin represents, and that our side of the argument won. On the other side, it's kind of hollow because, let's just face it, man, Black women still. Let me be very careful with this. A certain percentage of Black women are still riding with Derrick. And it's interesting. All of this confluence of events is really interesting to watch, because as we see this situation happen here on YouTube, we're also watching the final days of Iyanla Vanzant on the Oprah Winfrey Network. They're running her final episodes of Iyanla Fix My Life. And, excuse me, she was run off of the Oprah Winfrey Network by Black women. Black men didn't have anything to do with that. So, and the thing I like, and I've been watching.
Let me push pause real quick, because I love to dispel this myth, because anybody who said, and shout out to the hood conservative, I definitely got nothing but love and respect for this brother. Love when me and him do a one-on-one. He knock it out the park every time. But when I hear people say this, he says, Kev intentionally speaks for the 1% of Black men. Nothing's changed. Now, the nothing's changed part, okay, maybe right on that. But to speaks for the 1% of Black men, if you listen to that show, no, I'm sorry. Kevin Samuels is advocating for the everyday brother. It's impossible to actually listen to those conversations and not come away that he's advocating for the everyday brother. Now, his job as an image consultant, okay, yes, you got to be at least top 10% probably, or a little maybe 15, 20, but mostly top 10% to be in need of an image consultant. Like, that's one thing. But when he's having those conversations with those women, no, he's advocating for men as a whole, Black men as a whole, the everyday brother. It's impossible to listen to those conversations and not come away with that. But I just have to clear that up, because I could tell some brothers don't listen and they just think it's just a bunch of get the bag conversations happening over there. That's the shiny object that drew the women in. They come in, pull up a chair, and then they get a real conversation. So I would invite you to actually listen to some of those conversations. It's not about high value all the time. Actually, most of the time, because most of the women that call in are not what would be considered high value women, or women that qualify for a high value man. So it just ends up being a real conversation about Black relationships and all the problems that's been ailing them, going all the way back to everything that we've ever talked about in the Black manosphere. So that's what's going on there. So I gotta push back against that. But all right, carry on.
Yeah. One thing I like about Iyanla is the way her show starts off. She gives a brief breakdown of what happened in her own life despite her success, and she had to start over and did her work, and then she says, I help other people do their work. Now we know her show is not solely, but primarily geared toward black women. On occasion, they do have some black men on there. I think that the Derrick Jaxn situation, I call it the self-immolation of Derrick Jaxn, he's basically setting himself on fire, is a major moment. And I've been talking to some people, I don't want to mention any names here. I've been talking to some people behind the scenes about all this, and they're very nervous about wanting to publicly wade into that discussion. Because let's be brutally frank, I mean, there's money on the line. I understand that, but I also understand that this is a conversation that has to happen. Black men have a role to play in what went down with Derrick Jaxn. All of us, including me. And I could easily, with my history with the guy and everything I've said, I've done upwards of 70 podcasts and videos on him in the past 6 years and counting. Upwards of 70. I don't think anybody has beaten me in that respect. And my writing, on top of that, a 450-page book, you know, where Derrick Jaxn is mentioned pretty prominently in it. Given who I am, on top of being a confirmed bachelor, I could easily say this. I ain't got a dog in the fight. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But that wouldn't really, in my opinion, that really wouldn't help anything, because we all have a role to play. It really does raise the question of community. I mean, a lot of black people, you know, talk a mean game about it, pay a lot of lip service to it. This is where the rubber hits the road. You know, do we really mean it? You know, how many, you know, setting Derrick the person aside for a moment, just looking at the marital situation, looking at the family situation. How many more broken up families can Black America take at this point? That's a real question. And infidelity is a major problem in Black America, much more so than anywhere else in the country. I mean, you've seen the stats, Bernard. We've talked about them before. It's a big problem. And it won't be solved unless Black men and Black women get their arms around it. And it has to start with Black men first. Black men have to want to stop it. If we don't stop it, it won't stop. Period. Now, that being said, Black women have their work to do too. There's certain things Black women cannot help Black men with and should not help Black men with. Black men have to take that on themselves. That being said, there are things that Black women have to do themselves, and they have to take that on themselves. And this is what I'm talking about here, because when Black women don't cancel Derrick Jaxn for what he did, which by now is irrefutable, he confessed. When they don't cancel him, they are sending a message to Black men that we really don't care about cheating and stuff like that. If you're the right guy, it's okay. That's not a good message for a community. That's a good message for you as an individual, but it's not a good message for a community. And that's something that Black women have to carry. I mean, you know, we've seen Black women cancel guys. Like, we all remember what happened to Mr. Shea Moisture, Rich Dennis. Black women canceled him with the quickness.
Yeah, didn't he get canceled for I don't know, trying to expand his business and make some more money?
That's right.
Like, damn.
That's right.
If he was changed, okay, never mind. If the stuff that he was selling to Black women, if he changed the chemical composition of that and it didn't work for their hair no more, but it worked for white people hair, then they would have an argument. But I think he just tried to add additional products to get some people from other races to be able to buy it. So yeah, that was ridiculous. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah. And they had, you know, Rich Dennis doing the Mea Culpa tour. He was on a Breakfast Show, Breakfast Club, and all that sort of thing. So my point is that
you got purple walked through the Black social media.
Yeah. My point being, Black women have the power to hold Black men who cater to them accountable. And Rich Dennis is just one example. They have the power to do it when they want to. The fact that Derrick Jaxn essentially got what amounted to a slap on the wrist in terms of social media losses sends a really bad message to black men who are already cynical, black men who are already like borderline nihilistic, black men who have already, in a very real sense, given up, have quit. This isn't helping. It's not. And all the Kevin Samuelses, the entire black manosphere combined can't do it. Black women have to do it. I mean, it really is that simple. Black men have their role to play in it, but black men can't do it. So yeah, this is it's a Pyrrhic victory for me. Watching Kevin, my book dropping when it did, watching Kevin doing what he's doing, and so on. You mentioned Derrick tried to, as you call it, go through the back door to give a tribute to DMX. I believe it was Cameron that jumped all over him for that. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, those things are good to see. Cameron being hip hop royalty at this point. Those are very good things to see. But there's the other side of it, and it's a very real side. There's a very real side. And there's a gentleman in the chat room, the Golden Child 12 Kick, K-I-K, says, damn, man, you are obsessed with Kevin Samuels and Derrick Jaxn. Well, but that's the title of the show. And it wasn't my idea. It was Bernard's idea. So
right.
I guess you could say he's obsessed with it.
I think I'm obsessed with a successful YouTube channel. Shout out to all 772 people in the building. 796 people in the building. I hate only on Black YouTube do YouTubers get criticized for knowing how to properly YouTube. Covering trending topics is I'm not going to explain YouTube to people. But anyway.
But I would like to explain the psychology, because this goes to the point. I mean, this is a guy. This is something that has to be addressed in the black manosphere too. I think this is part of the whole dynamic. And there are a lot of black men that are very cynical, man. I think black women really need to hear that. There are a lot of black men who have quit. They've given up. They've lost hope. And only black women can move the needle on that. And it's not helping when they don't hold somebody up for all the talk that black women do about accountability. For all the talk about it. They refuse to hold a man who is a known serial cheater, sociopath, malignant narcissist. They refuse to hold him accountable. That's not helping, ladies. It's not.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the now 800 people in the building, let's if you're new here, because I did see some people actually typed out that they were new here, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if you haven't already, but definitely you want to subscribe and bang that bell. I do this every morning at roughly 9 a.m. So definitely you want to subscribe and bang that bell. But shout out to the super chats that I'm behind on, and some of them probably got away from me for good, but I have to try to dig them up. MVP in the building, he says, women can take half, whether you Dr. Dre or Andre Jenkins. I don't know about marriage, my guys. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. And appreciate Falcon Black in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate it. He says, can Kevin Samuels ease the negative stigma of the manosphere? That's an interesting question, especially after the reported. Oh my God! Listen. Yeah, that's nonsense. That's nonsense.
What happened now?
There's somebody who committed a heinous crime that I think they somehow found out he was subscribed to Coach Greg Adams.
Okay.
That's exactly how I feel about it. Okay. Like
well, the reason why, you tell me the reason why you have your okay, and I'll tell you the reason why I have mine.
because there could very well be a serial killer of the 768 people watching right now. How do I know there's not some serial killer amongst the 768 people watching? So if he goes and does some serial killer stuff, that don't got a damn thing to do with me. That it's just that simple. It's just that simple. So that's it's a bending over backwards attempt to try to charge the manosphere up with something. That's all that is. Somebody commit a crime that heinous, they're clearly crazy. And I tend to believe he was crazy before he ever watched a YouTube video of Coach Greg Adams or a video of some cats or whatever else he liked to watch on YouTube. I'm sure he liked to watch people breakdancing on YouTube as well. That didn't cause him to go kill somebody. Like, come on, like it's just stupid. All right, yeah, that's my okay. But to the other part where what he said, can Kevin Samuels ease the negative stigma of the manosphere? Yes, I believe he can, but I don't know why you would put that in the same sentence as somebody who they found out somehow he was subscribed to Coach Greg Adams and he also committed a heinous crime. That has, those two are not connected. But yes, Kevin Samuels can change the overall image of the manosphere. Yes.
Yeah, the one brother, Golden Child, Kick says, those books you nigga reading comes from lames. I would like to know what books is Golden Child 12 Kick referring to. In any event, going back to the brother Falcon Black for a moment. Okay, so there's several different things here. So the first question I would have is, why is going mainstream so important to us? Why does that matter so much? Like when I started doing what I was doing, the mainstream media was the last thing that was on my mind. It was the furthest thing from my mind. I had no interest in it. I was interested in building my own media. So I'm just wondering, why does it matter so much that Kevin, or for anybody else for that matter, it doesn't have to be Kevin personally. Why does it matter? Let me put it this way. Let me rephrase. Why does it matter so much that the black manosphere, let's put it that way, that the black manosphere go mainstream? Why does that matter so much?
Well, to give my thoughts on that, I would like to see it grow and get as big as possible, and it be and the the people in it, yourself, I would like to see all you guys, Angry Man, everybody, and myself, us get as successful as possible with this, and not just us getting successful, but the message, the point, the thought process, the perspective, all of that. I would like for it to be out there as much as possible.
Well,
so
I mean,
it's almost like asking the question, like I don't know why I always use the example of Steven Crowder. I'm just going to assume at some point he was small. I don't see why somebody would ask the question, well, why is it that important for Steven Crowder to get really big someday? Him doing his I love his change my mind videos, even though he's not beating up, but intellectually beating up on people who are not intellectually on his level. But I love those videos, and yeah, him getting as big as he is, yeah, it changes the narrative, the whole thought process, and he converts a lot of very liberal people. The hearts and minds of a lot of people are changed because he got so big and he blew up the way he did. So there's that. So yes, I do want to see it get bigger. But far as mainstream approval, like I think I know where you're going. You wanted to make sure that that we have our own thing, our own shit, so to speak,
right?
And so getting Kevin Samuels getting picked up by I don't know, whoever the hell pay Steve Harvey to do his show. Yeah. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about that. I would much rather see Kevin Samuels on his own network, if anything.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So to me, I guess I have a kind of.
But you got to get a lot of eyes on you in order for that to happen. So that part I'm with. Yeah.
Kevin has that. I mean, me, I've just been listening over the past few months, guys talking about mainstream, and I don't know what that means. I guess it means, you know, the major networks and stuff like that. And I'm like, why? He has his own platform. He gets more people watching him than CNN does. So I'm like, why does it matter? I think that we have everything we need on our own to build up our own stuff. You know, I was watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier last night, now officially called Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because the Falcon, Sam Wilson, is now official. He's the second Captain America, first black man in the role. And I was watching it and thinking, you know, he has a new uniform that was created for him out of vibranium by the Wakandan Design Group. That's their technological arm over in Wakanda. And I was thinking, you know, I never thought about myself this way, but as I was really sitting there thinking about it, in a lot of ways, I have a bit of a Wakandan in me, because I've always had to view that I always wanted to do my own thing as a black man. I wanted to do my own thing, pretty much operate more or less independently. I didn't have any problems with white people.
Wait, we gotta hold your thought on that, because we got big things happening in the chat room. First off, shout out to Checkmate. He says mainstream not ready for Kevin Samuels. I don't know if it'll ever.
Cameron, go, man. I got $2 for you, man. I know I'm a little short, but you know, you can.
The bill. Shout out to Legend Skinner. He says, and I'm obsessed with sending super chat / supporting other black men making real content on YouTube. B1 Brothers. Okay, that B1 has some implications, but shout out to you. My fist in the air. Right on. I am black first. I am pro black, but I do not like all the bullshit that's associated with it. So I will never claim it. But I am to what you were saying, black people doing it by themselves and not being even worried or concerned with what's considered mainstream. I'm black first in that regard. Yes, I'm black first without the making excuses for without the bitching about white people and spraying cologne over all the nigga shit.
Yeah,
Saying,
because
that's the part of it I don't like.
It's really a slippery thing, and you know, black folks have a tendency to be slippery with our language. So it's not 100% certain what it means to go mainstream. But if you and I, if we can agree, Bernard, that going mainstream means, you know, CBS, CNN, you know, Steve Harvey show, the Oprah Winfrey, if that's what mainstream means, then I don't see why that's necessary. This man is staring down 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
He's got at least as much pull, if not more so, than some of these outfits.
Yes.
On his own. So I mean, so what it tells me is if and yes, Keith, if they offered me a radio show, I wouldn't take it. Yes, I would not take it. Or I should say, no, I would not take it. No. That's your own, you're projecting. I always thought that black people have what they need to do on their own. In this case, black men have what they need to do on their own.
Mm-hmm.
We can fly on our own. I mean, look, man, you and I working together right now. We got upwards of 800 people watching right now in the morning on a channel that's got not even 10,000 subscribers.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, we can do whatever we want to do. And that's the reason why I was so heartened to watch, you know, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Why not? Why not a black Captain America? Why not? Why not? In the 21st century, why not?
Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it, but that episode you were telling me about, episode 5 was still the best episode, where the black super soldier, whose name I forgot, that conversation that he had with Sam. Oh man, I gotta just go replay that whole thing. That was epic. That was, and I'm shocked that they did that great of a job of talking about the implications of a black Captain America. I was shocked that they went that deep with it, and on some on some Tuskegee experiment type. I mean, oh man, it was wild. It was wild. And because the super serum Captain America, we know he's from the 30s in a very racist time. So they went all the way there with it. They did, man. I was impressed. I was impressed. I don't even want to give it away. I don't even want to give it away. But yeah, I was definitely impressed with that. But shout out to Nuruddin with the $5. Says, remember Obsidian when Kevin Samuels had that black woman who finally said they don't need a black man that said it all. Yeah, she came in talking about victims and being how they scarred and they're this and they're that. But when he slapped down what she said, she basically said, yeah, we educated, we work, and we do this and we do that. And yeah, we don't need to get with a black man. Yeah, that was deep. She just confirmed everything that we have been talking about for a while. But without further ado, we got to shout out Super Chat Jesus in the building. Shout out to Ike Ogiamian. Came through hard and heavy handed. I don't have a clip to do that, and I'm not going to play
I
the 100.
I certainly do.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
Thank you so much for that, Ike. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, I do got a clip for when I get a $100 super chat. I'll play that, and I'm not gonna play it 5 times. I should though, but I gotta find a $200, $300, $400, $5 when Ike come through heavy handed like that. But man, shout out to Ike.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140.
That's $100.
Shout out to Ike, man. Appreciate it. That's wild. Man, Ike just know how to make your day when he come through. Anyway, Tank Johnson in the building says mainstream is a vision because Obsidian and Kevin Samuels said they are here to make money. Us black men are gonna make y'all rich by ourselves. We ain't got it.
Well, how do you know? I mean, I'm looking at a black man right now who just dropped 500. I look at Kevin's channel night in and night out. I see action like that.
Well, put it like this: if you don't think Kevin Samuels is mainstream, as far as I don't even want to. I hate getting into this, but educate yourself on YouTube CPM and plug Kevin Samuels' numbers into the equation, and you would change your tone about whether or not he's rich or not, and then add the super chats on top of it. So no. Kevin Samuels have proven that you can get rich. You can't get rich doing this.
And and let's just get right to it. You don't need quote unquote the white man in order to do it.
Yes, he has pretty much an all black audience, even though people from all over are enjoying it. And I love it. I love it because yes, people from all different races, people from all over the world be watching. Some chick called in from India somewhere with I don't want to disrespect nobody's culture, but some chick called in from India somewhere.
Yeah,
almost made a bad joke, but she called in from India and yeah, he talked to her and they had a decent conversation. But at the end of the day, black people are the ones most prominently featured. It's almost like, put it like this: when you go to I'm using air quotes, a white show that's that big, yes, the other races, it's almost like how I always use the term, they take a seat in the back and every now and then they get to say something or get to call in or but the show is generally for white people. Well, he has a show that big, but it's for black people, but other people can pull up a chair and every now and then participate a little bit. So it's like it's that big, but everybody else is the minority. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's big. It's main.
The main players are black people, and the supporting cast, to the extent that they exist, are non-black people. Yeah.
It's like a black movie with the token. Like even Black Panther had the token white guy, the guy that played Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah,
I forgot his name, but he
government agent. Yeah.
So
U.S. government agent. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it is, and that's how it is.
We have a couple more of our naysayers in here. Tank also says in the chat room, we don't believe you, Unc, talking about me. 800,000 in the top hat. You're not turning that down. Watch me. Lotus Scalper says, Obsidian, you have a price in which you will sell out this whole space. Okay. Not going to happen. Silent Lamont, Lotus Scalper, facts, bruh, and everyone knows it. Obsidian is straight capping. Yeah.
All right, Dwayne in the building.
And see, before you get to that, see, this is what I'm talking about. Instead of talk about how we can further develop our own media, look at what the conversation is about. This is what I'm talking about with the cynicism, which is really fear. Cynicism is born of fear. It's thinly veiled fear. And a lot of black men are fearful. A lot of black men are fearful of failure. A lot of black men are fearful of change. A lot of black men are fearful of the future. There's a lot of fear. And we need to really take that on, man.
All right. Shout out to Dwayne 2827. $10 Nation in the building. Appreciate it.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything? Everything. You.
Indigenous TV in the building. Why do we need a black Captain America? Why not start creating black superheroes from an organic place? Why is there a need to blackwash white heroes? That is a fair point. But if you follow the story, it sort of organically happened. If you follow, all the Avengers movies leading up to Endgame and what happened with Cap, it only made sense that he would have passed it to Sam. So I like that it organically happened. They didn't just arbitrarily say, "Oh, let's make Thor black." Like, no, that would have been stupid. But as far as Captain America handing over the shield to somebody, Sam was literally the most qualified. It made the most sense in the story for him to give it to Sam. So it organically happened. So I can't really say that they just.
Not only that, but the actual comic. The Falcon goes way back with Captain America, going back into the 70s. I remember I was reading the comic book back then when I was a kid. And that was put in place by white people. Black people didn't just make up, go on a social justice warrior tear back in the 70s and put that out there. That was back there way back when. And then in the 80s and 90s, when the original U.S. agent storyline, John Walker's storyline came up, I want to say that's in the 80s and 90s. They did make Captain America black. The uniform that he wears in the last episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes directly from the comic book, which again were white folks. So, it's not some kind of social justice warrior type of thing. It was very much an organic thing. White folks invented the Black Panther. White folks invented, Sam Wilson, the Falcon, and so on and so forth. With Captain America and the Falcon, that goes way back. So no, Bernard is 100% correct there. That being said, I'm in full support of black comic writers and stuff making black heroes from the ground up. I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's some interesting Instagram pages that I can't even think of them right off the top of my head, but I'm subscribed to them, where basically a lot of black artists they're creating. They're writing their comic books. They're creating it. They're trying to they're working to get movie deals or get something going or get it off the ground, basically. So it's there's
Shock has already got something going. I believe I've heard somewhere he's got an actual movie in development, the Static Shock character. So yeah, that's an example. If I may, there's a brother in the chat room named Alonzo Robinson. He says Obsidian was called out for flip-flopping, which is why he can't pull views anymore. He has peaked. Well, I would like for you to explain to me my YouTube analytics, since you know them better than I do. I'd like you to explain that to me. I'd also like for you to explain to me exactly with specificity how I'm flip-flopping. Could we invite him up to the panel, Bernard?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Alonzo, you have an open invitation to explain to me my YouTube analytics better than I do, and to explain to me exactly how I'm flip-flopping.
And I'm gonna step completely out of that conversation. That is between y'all, and y'all can have that out, and that's that. If somebody wants to come, I mean, well, we are an hour and a half in, so yeah. The the panel is more or less open. It ain't about to get crazy. It ain't about to get crazy. I've been trying to work on that. Every time I think I got it, and then I have a show that where all the shit hit the fan, and I got to recalibrate and say, okay, now we got to do, But anyway, Nardine in the building with the super chat. He says, and remember the other woman that said that asking her to smile was like a crime when women like that need protection. Clinton to sheriff's office. Shout out to Nardine. Appreciate the super chat, and that conversation does. And that conversation with Nardine is talking about, that does speak to my point that a lot of people speak as if he's just having high value man versus, high value man and women trying to get the bag from him conversations. But he's on there talking to the women about just their overall general resting bitch face disposition and all of that, and the lack of smiling and courtesy to black men. How they, even if they're at work, they'll smile and greet with a nice friendly smile and a hello to everybody that pull up in the line behind them. But when the black man make it up there, it's like it's go right back to resting bitch face. He's talking to them about that, and how these are the same men. If some shit go down, you want them to protect you, but you can't even just be generally cordial with them unless you're fucking them. So those are the type of conversations that he's having with 30,000 people watching. I assume half women. So you can't, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish on whether or not anybody's hearts or minds are going to be changed, you can't. I don't see how anybody could see a negative there. There's no negative there. You can be bullish or bearish on the outcome, but none of it is negative or worthy of criticism.
I would disagree with you, Bernard, because black women having intimate relations with the guys and then being willing to accede to his demands, I question that. See, my thinking is this.
Oh wait, hold on. I didn't say that they will fully give to his commands. I'm just talking about just the only way a guy is even just getting with some women, the only way that they are even getting a smile or just being just cordial and just friendly is if they find him sexually attractive. That's what I was talking about. Well, okay. No, just because a guy is smashing, that doesn't mean that she's going to act right for him.
Yeah,
they still out of pocket.
I was about to say,
I wasn't saying that.
So a lot of these black women who have been talking about not being protected online over the years, we know they have sex lives. We know that. Mm-hmm. And it's never asked, why don't they go to the guys that they're having sex lives with to protect them? And we all know the reason why. Because these guys don't care about them to do that. And black women didn't select guys who would care about them to do that. They selected guys who will blow their back out, presumably. And that's what they got. And black women know it. And that's the reason why they go and, try to, get a call to action for the guys they wouldn't, tinkle on to put out if they were on fire to do the heavy lifting. So, I mean, that again, how does that build community?
Right. Radio Vegas in the building. He says, I really think some of these educated black women are more than delusional. I say they are too far gone to be saved. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. I see Checkmate just hopped up on the panel. I'm going to pass to you momentarily. I just need to shout out a few, and I'm sorry to everybody who super chat. I missed the chat moving fast. I apologize if I missed you. Cool Kamazi in the building says, happy Friday. Thank you, Obsidian and BR. Your book is proof of not requiring the mainstream with its success. Mumia Obsidian Ali proved the grassroots still work. Absolutely.
Wow, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you.
We got Tom Etheridge in the building. Sometimes the mainstream can come to you, and that's not Kevin's fault. I do think that's what's happened. The mainstream is coming to him. He's not going to mainstream, and that's pretty cool. He is a snowball rolling downhill, and no one can stop it. Right on. Skizzy 215 in the building. He says, I got this, old man Alonzo. Where's your empirical evidence?
Yeah. We're waiting for him.
Salute and shout out to Game Changer in the building. Hell, while we in here and while we got new people in here, moderators, I always forget to do this when Obsidian is on because Obsidian's always over here. But I be forgetting. I forget all the time to drop Obsidian's links in the chat. 700 people in the building.
Oh, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. Today, the Book of Obsidian, the print version of the Book of Obsidian is now on sale on Amazon. It drops today. The print version of the Book of Obsidian. And of course, if you still want to get a sign, you know what? Hey, Ike, hit me up at theobsidianfiles@gmail.com. I got a Book of Obsidian autograph copy for you because you dropped such a generous, super chat up here. And if anybody else drops a nice, generous super chat, anybody that drops a generous super chat, anytime I'm on with Bernard, you get an autographed copy of the Book of Obsidian. Fair enough? All you got to do is just hit me up via email. Give me a screenshot of what you dropped here. You got it. Would that be fair? Would that be fair, Bernard?
Yeah, good deal. Good deal. Sound like a good deal. All right, we're going to pass the mic to Checkmate in the building. You have the floor. You have the mic. What's on your mind?
Yeah, what's on my mind is that I compare like YouTube platforms to like it's like underground hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Underground hip hop, they have an audience, but still the vast majority of people don't know about, a particular artist that's underground. That's what Kevin Samuels, as I made a point earlier, is that mainstream would never, well, I don't think ever be ready for characters like Kevin Samuels because, first of all, feminism dominates the mainstream. He would have so much pushback, and I just don't see Kevin Samuels get much farther than YouTube or social or like social media platforms. So I think a lot of times a lot of people place too much hope in Kevin Samuels because at the same time I don't think that Kevin Samuels, yeah, as you said, Bernard, KS, he is speaking for quote unquote the average black man. That's not high value, but he's not bringing the women that want a high value man closer to the average black man. The only Kevin Samuels doing is either having black women, prepare themselves for that high value man, or don't date at all. Because I watch Kevin Samuels.
Oh my goodness! I was just about to ask, do you actually watch the show?
All the time.
Okay,
all the time.
Majority of the then I don't know what you're not hearing. What I'm hearing, because what I'm hearing is more times than not. Because obviously, most women are not going to qualify for a high value for some top earning dude. It's only so many of them, and most women not going to qualify for it. He spent a lot of times talking them down from that ledge and having a conversation in reality about where they at and where they really stand and what they can really get out there. And yes, and you still need to be respectful and act like you got some damn sense with this man who is a man in your lane that you qualify for. Even if he's not everything you ever dreamed of, you need to treat him like you got some damn sense, because the other alternative is you being on some self-love type shit with cats crawling around and you're dying alone. That's really the message. So okay, I strongly disagree with what you're saying.
No, but when I see the women, especially the women that makes 6 figures themselves, they have the attitude, hey, they want to be by themselves. I mean, I'm not sure whether or not you saw those episodes.
Oh no, yeah, I saw it, and yeah, some of them do have that attitude that they would rather be by themselves. And he's like, okay, and great, and you're gonna go and die alone. Yeah. Good luck with that. Have fun.
So you believe that Kevin Samuels is bringing these black women that wants the high value man closer to the average black man in desirability? Because I don't see that. I see, like when Kevin Samuels, he talks about the woman's weight, how they don't measure up to a high value man. So I don't see that bringing average black men closer to those women that wants a high value man. I haven't seen that in the streams that I've watched. Yeah, he brings them back down to earth and let them know that, hey, at this point you're not qualified for a high value man.
Okay, but these women, they already are dealing with average men. That's the thing
Yeah,
that you're missing. They're already dealing with average men. They're already having sex with average men or slightly above average men. They're already, in many cases, calling in with children by average or slightly above average men, or in some cases below average men. They're already doing it.
right,
He's
right.
talking to them about how to relationship better with the men that you are already with and qualifying for.
Well, some of them, and then there are plenty others where, these women, they're delusional and they're so focused on getting a high value man that they they prepare. I mean, they
Oh, just
prefer.
let me ask you this question: Is this like personal? Like, are you basically saying Kevin Samuels haven't delivered you a woman yet, so that's why you're bearish on what's going on there?
No, I'm not. I'm not dependent on KS for anything.
Okay,
Okay, I'm.
I was just making
I just.
sure. I was just making sure.
I'm just. Look, I'm just observing what. I mean, the same thing what y'all watching too. But I just call stuff how I see it, and from what I see, I don't see Kevin Samuels, you know, converting women that wants a high value man to the average brother. He is converting some, like, give because they get a reality.
Every woman wants a man who makes as much money as possible. The
Right.
reality is that these women are dealing with men who make all varying levels of money. Now, what they want, yes, he will have a discussion with them about how to get it, but quite often the conversation is just a more realistic discussion. That's really his calling card, with giving them the realistic, hardcore truth of what's going on. Now, if he was just full blown, just pulling Derrick Jaxn and telling them, "Oh, well, yeah, you're going to get this magical dream boat guy that's making this money, going to do all of this and going to do all of that," then yeah, he would be on some bullshit, and I wouldn't even support it. I would never mention his name if he went full Derrick Jaxn and was just talking about just how putting out a message that implies that every woman is going to get that guy, and if you can't get that guy, you might as well, like Derrick Jaxn literally said, if you can't get exactly what you want out there, you might as well just make your own money and get a vibrator. He literally said that.
Yeah.
He literally
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
So that's not what Kevin Samuels is saying. That's not what's going on there. Somebody else
Well,
is asking for the link down in the chat. Obsidian, do you want to respond to anything that was
Yeah, I do.
said here? Go ahead.
So I guess the thing with me is the idea of black, not just Kevin personally, but the idea that black men are somehow going to change black women or convert them. Black women are adults. Only they can, make changes. We can make recommendations. We can give them our opinion, our insight, what we would like to see, what we would like to have. But ultimately, the change has to come from them. They have to be the ones that want to do. I talked about this earlier with regard to the whole Derrick Jaxn piece. That's something only black women can address for real. Black men, we can have our own take on it, but the only people that are in a position to really move the needle are black women, and it's the same thing here. I think the wording is bad because it's not about converting black women. It's about giving voice to how a lot of black men feel. And I think this is the reason why the whole press for mainstream acceptability is so big. Black men want the world to hear them. That's really what this is all about. Black men want to be heard. It's really that simple. I say the people that need to hear black men are black women. That's always been my mission from day one, is fostering a conversation between black men and black women. The only group I'm concerned about hearing black men are black women, because those are the people who matter.
We got mail in the building, and I had to step away for a second, so I didn't
How you doing, brother?
exactly hear everything that Obsidian said. I caught most of it though, but passing the mic to Mail. Go ahead, you got
How
the
you doing, brother?
floor.
How you
You
doing?
got the
Good
mic.
morning.
Doing great. You got the floor, you got the mic.
Yeah, I would like to, tell Checkmate other things that Kevin Samuel's doing that me, Obsidian, and Bernard is actually seeing and stuff. Maybe you probably don't see it, but we see it also too. He's also telling a lot of these females that being that he breaks down with the ethnicity also too, why Becky, Mylene, and Marisol able to get with those high value men because most of them be with them when they're average men. I mean, he tells them they look for their husbands while they're in college and stuff. Black women been looking for the already made package, but they're not there for the beginning. So that's why he emphasized so much and telling these females, why not get an average guy? Because most percentage of average guys and everything, I was most percentage of 6-figure earners was average guys at the time. If you be there for the beginning, you reap a lot of the benefits and stuff. But you have to qualify for that. That's why I'm saying if you want to get an already made package, you ain't gonna qualify for that. But in the position that you in right now, why not give it an average guy and build from there? And that's what a lot of black women don't want to hear. They already want this already made package. And like, no, it's not gonna happen. Because now he got standards now. You better give it to the average guy while he's average and already open the deal with you and your baggage so you can build from there. Or when he starts building himself, then you lose out on the opportunity.
Uh-huh.
I'm not okay. For the record, I will say that Kevin Samuels, he's been great for the Black manosphere. I'm not complaining about Kevin Samuels. What I'm saying is I don't buy that he's converting Black women that wants a high value man to wanting a blue collar brother or a brother that makes $50,000 a year.
Well, I think your concern, Checkmate, isn't warranted because black
Yeah.
women on Kevin's show have already answered the question. We've heard the black woman that made Kevin a household name, Miss Average at Best, said it flat out. I can't respect an average man. So that question's already been answered.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been other black women since who have reiterated her original point. So we got that. See, I guess where I'm not in a position to tell Kevin what to do with his show, but what I'll speak for myself. Where I am with the situation is that, okay, we are where we are. Do you have a hospice care plan? For the sisters out there who say, I can't respect an average at birth, okay, fine. Do you have a hospice care plan? Let's just get right to it. Do you have a hospice care plan?
You asking me?
Not you personally. I'm talking about those sisters who say, I can't respect an average brother. Okay, fine. Do you have a hospice care plan? That's where I'm at with it at this point.
Okay, my disagreement is still with Checkmate. What I'm just trying to say to you is if these women are already dealing with working class men, which they are, they're already dealing with working class men. So the only difference is that Kevin Samuels is, I mean, I guess I'm having a hard time understanding where you're coming from because you're saying he's not going to convince them to want a certain type of guy. But the thing is, they're calling into his show. That's because they're already dealing with that certain type of guy. They're already dealing with working class men. They want more, and then he's showing them that because of A, B, C, and D, you don't really qualify for more. This is where you're at, and this is how you should go about doing things. Now there have been some times where some women who did qualify for more have called in, and he's had a real he's advised them on how to maximize what they're trying to get out there. So I don't hold on, somebody got background noise. I see you down there, Sika and Yang. I'm about to bring you up in a second. So yeah, I just don't get where you're coming from. They're already dealing with what they qualify for. And so the only thing wrong now is their whole mentality and ideology and their whole strong independent attitude. Don't need a man, or they think that in the few of them that do make a certain amount of money, they were confused and stupidly believing that that somehow increases their sexual market value. He's explaining to them that it doesn't. So he's just basically talking them down from the ledge of bad ideas in their head, but those ideas don't make a practical difference because they're not getting, I mean, they probably getting sex from the type of guy that they would like to be in a relationship with, but if they're not actually getting long-term results from that guy, and he's explaining to them exactly why, and he's talking to them about what they already qualify for, I mean, I don't see your point of contention.
It boils down to happiness. As you said, they already called in and they already been dealing with the type of guys that they quote unquote qualify for. That's the whole point of them calling in Kevin Samuels' show. They're unhappy.
Right.
Kevin Samuels telling them, hey, you're not qualified for a high value man because of A, B, C, and D. That's not going to convert their unhappiness with the man that they've been messing with.
Hold on a second. Why is it Kevin's job to convert anybody?
I never said that. I
think you did.
No. I just pointed out what I'm just responding to what you just said. You just said that the women that calls into Kevin Samuels' show already been messing around with guys that they already qualify for. And I said the reason why they're doing that is because they're unhappy with those guys.
Right. We got that.
Now, okay.
We got that. So I guess the problem I'm having with you is, but let me do it this way. Let me back up and do it this way, Checkmate. I don't see Kevin doing what you're saying he's doing. I see Kevin telling these ladies who are coming to him, wanting him to essentially be a wizard.
Yes. Create from scratch a 100% class of men that make $100,000.
Do that. I'm not able to do that. My skill set is a very particular skill set with real hard limitations. And what you're asking me is, I'm not Thanos. I can't. He's even said this. I'm not Thanos. I don't have the Infinity Gauntlet, man. I just can't snap my fingers and make something come out of nowhere. That's what I see Kevin doing, is telling ladies who have these wild expectations that they expect him to work for them like a miracle worker, and him saying, "Wait a minute, I don't do that."
Well, I get that.
His whole show is about lowering the expectations. Now, granted, a woman, if she's dealing with certain type of men and she's getting abused and all kind of stuff, I don't think she should lower her expectation down to abuse. I think, lowering it down to a man who's competent, decent character, and willing to commit to her, that logically makes sense. And even if that guy is a construction worker or a working class guy making 50, 60K or whatever, then that's a plausible lane for an average or slightly above average woman to be in. And so that's the conversation that he's having with them, with the realistic expectations of what's on the ground. Somebody said in the chat, this sounds like a "but what about me" argument, and I go back to what I said, is that it sounds like you just like you're mad, but you don't. You're bearish on whether or not he's going to deliver you a woman. Like, I mean, that's what it sounds like.
I rather not.
Okay, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to
speculate about.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to speculate about your reasoning. Or
I don't know where y'all got that from, man.
I apologize.
I'm just going off what I see off of Kevin Samuels, so this has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not the one on internet every day. But I mean,
yeah,
I'm not.
That's how I see Kevin. Is that?
Lord, hold on, real quick. Let me do super chat. Lord Commander in the building with the super chat. He says some see Kevin Samuels as him. Dookie on black women. Really, Kevin Samuels' show is showcasing how black women dookie on average men. That's a really good point right there. Shout out to you. Appreciate that. Trying to catch super chats that I probably missed. I know Sika and oh shit. Oh damn. You're probably gone and lost forever, Sika and Yang, because I saw that you dropped a $25 super chat. I can read it right here. Or he just said, "Good morning, fellas. Thank you for the $25 super chat. You are on the panel." We got Black Wolf Inc. in the building.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything? Everything. You.
Checkmate says, Black Wolf Inc. says to Checkmate, you need to watch Godfather's IG. Yesterday was highly revealing as a worthless 25-year-old chick thought she deserved a man making 100K. You can't make this ish up.
I know what he was talking about. Yeah, it was. I cast a few laughs of it. I think she was 19. She was engaged to a dude that was a manager at Foot Locker and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
she
Lord
held the law.
Commander, hold on real quick. Lord Commander in the building says Kevin Samuels is crisis intervention. Black women are standing at the edge of the bridge about to jump, thinking they can fly because they watched the Superman movie. Damn. Well said, well said. And E Capone in the building, appreciate it. Yeah, and I don't know what's up with Google moderators not letting us drop links in here. I have no idea what that is about. And hold on, we got Snuggles in the building. Shout out to Snuggles. It's probably because
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly.
Shout out to Snuggles. He says, Bernard, I think you need to have English comprehension classes. The fact that they do not understand what Kevin is doing, I'm confused. Be nice, Snuggles. Be nice, Snuggles. All right. And again, definitely checkmate. I'm giving you another formal apology. It's wrong for me to assume your intentions, and that was a low cheap shot. I normally don't like to do that. I normally
Snuggles,
like
I don't believe Kevin Samuels is the second coming of Jesus Christ. So I just observe
yeah.
what I watch.
No. Aside from what Snuggles said, I'm just telling you, for me, assuming that it was personal when you was saying, when I said Kevin Samuels haven't delivered you a woman yet. My bad on that. That wasn't cool. James Hudson in the building says Kevin Samuels is bringing more black men to SYSBM and MGTOW. He is showing the world that these women don't give a fuck about 95% of us. We do get a lot of that they don't give a good goddamn. I mean, that one call where that chick basically just took the mask off, that was wild. Like it's like she just blinked like 5 times real fast and just turned into a completely different person and said something different from what you started out saying. That junk was crazy. Just like she just,
yeah. So in light of
shout out to James Hudson, appreciate the super chat.
She had a ring on her finger.
Yeah, in light of that statement, again, where I am personally is okay. So do you have a hospice care plan? What's going to be the plan for the rest of your life? And the reason why I keep asking that is very simple. I don't want to pay for anybody. I don't want to pay for somebody who, and we're having it in the context now of the smile conversation. I don't want to pay for somebody who has no regard for me, is very reckless with their own life. Now, I've been very responsible all my life. I've had to, take care of myself and be about my own business. Why should I have to pay for these people? Why? They're adults just like me. They make decisions with their lives just like me. We just got finished having a conversation about the importance of black men being about their life's business. And death is part of life. So why should I have to pay for women who they have no regard for me and are reckless? I mean, at what point do the responsible guys, it's one thing, because, in this, a lot of the discussions in Black America devolve back to sex, right? So it's one thing to say you can't get the women that you want. Okay, fine. So I have to pay for the women that I don't want to?
We got Radio Vegas in here. Says, guy want a Ferrari, Lambo, Benz, but we drive what we drive. Why can't these black women understand this logic about high value men? Part of the show, part of the stick of the show, in my perspective, is talking to them about understanding that. And talking to them about how, no, yeah, you do need to have more respect for the working class man.
And here's the other thing too, just to follow up on what I just said. remember that sister said we're independent now. So make
Mm-hmm.
this make sense. How are you independent, but you need the guy that you don't want to tinkle on to put out his nails on fire to take care of you? Make it make sense.
Right. Nuruddin in the building. He says, well, fellas, they come to you, have to deal with those ninjas for protection. Give them 2 words. 6 hours there it is. All right. Shout out to Nuruddin. Thank you for the super chat. We going to Sika and Yang. You have the floor, you have the mic.
Yeah, I just want to point out real quick. I noticed in the video she actually had a ring, so God bless the man who's dealing with that shit. Any chick
Are
who
you talking
says,
about the one that he put up there as like a little 5-minute clip? She looked like a younger chick, had a soft
yeah,
voice.
yep,
Oh wow, she had a
she
ring on her
started,
hand,
yep,
and she
yep. I
came
watched
in
that
with,
thing like 3 times. Oh, go ahead.
God damn! Oh, I can't
Yeah,
believe that. I can't
she
believe that.
came in
Is
with
this a
all
new
that soft
one?
energy. Nah, it's the one that we was just talking about
Oh, the one
when
that
she was like,
she was in New
"We
Jersey, the
independent now."
masculine Latina one. That one.
Nah, the
No, she
black
wasn't
chick.
Latina.
Okay.
The black chick. She was like,
Okay.
we independent now. We don't need y'all. And at the end, she was like, build business with us and all this other crap,
Oh,
which
from
is
the, oh
ironic.
yeah, I know that
Which is
one. Yeah,
ironic. You
that
just
was
said
the
you
one
don't need
that.
us. And now you say build business with us.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that was the one that really broke my heart. Like, it's sad. We see 20. They're not even the first 5 years in their 20s and talking like a woman that's in their 40s. And thinking she knows more than a man that's in his 50s.
Yup.
That's sad and pathetic.
And she was
So
already,
I,
and if she was already married, that means she just digging her heels in deep into the sisterhood ideology at that point.
Most
Like,
likely, her
damn.
husband's submissive towards her.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
crazy.
Damn.
But man, so like, as far as like what Obsidian was talking about, converting people, not and it not being Kevin Samuel's job. One thing I recognize is that with truth, you either accept it or you don't, right? Kevin Samuels and anybody in the manosphere is just a messenger. People like I got to a point in time when I mentor kids. I got to a point in time where I recognized that you can't force them to believe what you know to be true. You can't force them to change anything. So all you can do is deliver the message, let the seeds fall, and anybody who wants to come and get it, they're gonna come and get it with you. With the women in particularly, what I noticed is that you got 2 titles being applied to women, and this is why it makes it really dang near impossible to talk to them. You got on one side them being called victims of the patriarchy, oppressed, all this other stuff, right? So they got a status that affords them, or not affords them, but gives them the ability to say, "You guys have put us down so long, you need to give us something," right? On the other side, they're being told that they're queens and they're independent and they're stronger and hear me roar and all this other BS. So on that side, you have this idea in which you've earned something, right? You're excellent. Excellence is obtained, and with excellence comes the rewards of the work that you've done. And so on that side, they're saying we've worked hard for XYZ. We deserve this. So if you're telling somebody that on one end you deserve something because you're a victim, and on the other end you deserve something because you've worked so hard, when somebody comes and tells you anything, you're always on both sides of the fence saying, no, regardless of what you say, you're wrong. I deserve something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would like to add to that what you were saying also too. Well, a lot of women don't realize also too that that things come with strategics and trade-offs, and that's something they don't want to comprehend. It's like they feel like, okay, I'm working hard, I should be able to get this amount of reward. Sometimes don't work that way. You're gonna have to work a little smarts in that also too. Working hard alone, it's not gonna get guaranteed the success that you think it is, and it has to come with strategics, and things come with trade-offs, and they don't realize that they want everything, being that they are what they are, and they don't realize, okay, you want your freedom of choice, good, but it comes with a trade-off.
Facts. And honestly, that's why I'm like, when I hear Kevin Samuels talk, I come to the conclusion that Bernard and everybody else is talking about, right? He's not out there converting. He's not out there telling people to go get this particular person. He's just saying lower your standards. 90% of them that come in there, and here's the funny thing, even the ones.
Did he die?
Hello?
Well,
If he dies, he dies. All right, 357 I am /G/. Interesting name. Thank you for the super chat. Kevin Samuels telling women the actual statistics versus what they feel. Good way, very well said. Very well said. Telling them the actual statistics versus what they feel they deserve. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Thank you very much for that. That was well said. Yeah, it's not. I mean, yeah, there is a lower your standards element to it, but it's only lower your standard because what you're requesting isn't mathematically possible. It's not. It's well, no. Let me say that it's mathematically improbable. Put it like that.
Yeah.
It's mathematically improbable what a lot of them are saying that they want. But yeah, so just giving them the real layout of what's out there. You can't create from scratch more men that fit a certain income bracket. That's not how economics work. It just doesn't work that way.
Another big key factor also too is like,
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything? Everything.
Okay. All right. No. I messed up. Oh shit. Lord Commander just came back through with another one. Appreciate you, Lord Commander. It says a lot of people overestimate how hard they work. I had one major and a 3.7 GPA. I thought I was something until I met a triple major with a 3.7 GPA. Damn. Yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I haven't said nothing about the likes in a minute because the views are so good, but the likes are at 413. We can get those up to 5 real easy right now with everybody in here listening. No reason why we can't get that up to 5. So go ahead and hit that like button. 659 people in the building. I mean, no, I say 600, 759 people in the building. So you can go ahead and hit that like button right now as we speak. So where? Oh shit, my man Black Wolf back in here. Shout out to Black Wolf. And he has a question on the table for Old Man. He says, "Hey, Old Man, are black women after the anti-life equation? It seems like they want the black man to only accept them
He talking
as
about
they
Justice League.
are, while they can judge your actions." I'm gonna pass that one to the Old Man. You got the floor. You got the mic to
Yeah,
answer
that's a really good question.
the
And,
question.
Kevin would typify it as one-way aggression. That is to say, black women are seen to be of the view that they can be hostile to black men, but black men can't be hostile back. Black women can be judgmental of black men, but black men can't be judgmental back, and so on. And yeah, it creates a real problem. You know, that's a big part of the reason why black men and black women have so much trouble getting along, because of that one-way street type of thinking that so many, not all, but so many black women have.
Mm-hmm. Golden in the building with the super chat. I'm not gonna hit you with the $10 nations, but no, she asked a really good question. I actually did content on this earlier. It's in the archives. You have to dig it up. But I did do a show on that. Well, just let me read what it says first. Most men who have daughters suggest she be independent so she won't have to depend on a man. What are your thoughts on this? My thoughts on this is that we do, to some degree, men who are raising daughters will, there's a percentage, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but yes, that protective instinct kicks in. And yes, you do want to teach and train and raise your daughter to be fully functional and sufficient out there in the adult world. You want her to be able to take care of herself so she won't end up in a situation where she's having to depend on a man. There are a lot of men who think like that. It's almost like a protective instinct. That creates part of the problem. Now you can't wholesale pin it on men, but you can legitimately say that some men are a part of that problem. And I did explore that. And some men with daughters, they did come up and say that, and there's people like Little Big Nate who also came up and he talked about the balance of that. So that is something that men that are raising daughters do need to balance. You know, the type of woman that you would want a woman to be to you. Are you raising your daughter to be that type of woman, or are you raising a strong, independent manlet? Yeah, that is so that is a no. I mean, she asked a legitimate question. Did a whole 3-hour stream on that. So no, that is definitely a legitimate question and definitely some balance. So let me go to Little Big Nate. I don't have daughters. Little Big Nate has daughters. So Little Big Nate says, I taught my daughter to be self-sufficient. Yes, not independent and masculine. So yes, there is a way to do that. There is a way to do that. Perfect Blackness is a black man who I believe has daughters as well. He says, I am not teaching my daughters to be strong and independent. That is a recipe for loneliness. Far as a woman, daughter, if I had a daughter and her happened to depend on a man, yes, I would hope that she can depend on her man to be a good, productive protector and provider. And I hope that he would be able to depend on her to be a good wife and mother to the children. I would hope that they can depend on each other in that sense. But there are some men who do need to who do need to tighten up their game on that. But it's crazy because when I listen to other relationship shows, like for example, Kendra G, when she asks men, what type of woman do you want? A lot of those men will inevitably say, "Yeah, I want her. Want an independent woman. I want. I mean, again, these are okay. I don't want to call them lower level or lower thinking guys, but a lot of them are saying that they like the independent woman. It's kind of it's ingrained into our culture. And I think men have bent to what women actually want, to where it's all in our culture. INDD, you know the host, you know the songs. I have to sing it out, but it's ingrained into our culture. The whole, women has put themselves on that pedestal of we independent, and some dudes have bought into it and they celebrate it, and I think something is wrong with that. And that does need to be, there needs to be a cultural correction on that. Interdependency is a important thing. But shout out to the men who have daughters who are teaching them right. Shout out to Little Big Nate. Shout out to Perfect Blackness. Shout out to all the, as they said, girl dads. I don't know if I like that term, but I don't have daughters. But anyway, but no, good super chat. Black Wolf Inc. in the building says, Captain, let me up, my dog. Oh, he said, oh no, okay. He said, let up my dog. Silent jumped in the back chat and then disappeared for a second. But then once he came back, now he's up. I think he can break down my theory more eloquently, though. Oh man, you changed my mind a bit, though. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. There we go. All right, go ahead, Nuruddin. You got it.
Hey guys, what's going on? I'm on a long break at my job, but it feels good to have one. But since that lady came on out and she was 24 years old, and she literally said, since we're strong and independent and don't need no man. And then when he actually came on out and said thank you, she said we don't have trust with the black man. And then in the same breath said, come back and build businesses with us. I'm like, you just said out of your own mouth that you want that you're strong and independent and don't need no man, and we don't have trust in you, but yet you want to come in and dictate how that man spends his money. That's why I'm like, you know what, when they get manhandled by the ninjas and they come ask you,
well, that come back and build business with us statement, that speaks to the delusion that they have because they read their own press. And with black women, they're the most educated. They're starting businesses and they're doing this and they're doing that. When you break down the money that's made by black businesses, close to 70% of it is coming from black men. But black women, they do have more individual solo startups that aren't really making no money. But on record, you can look and see that there are more black female-owned businesses than black male-owned businesses. But solopreneur startups that aren't really making any money. Most of the money that's made from black business, not nearly enough. It needs to be more black businesses, but most of the money that's
But
made for black
Bernard,
businesses comes from black men, but they look at that narrow stat and they say, we starting businesses and we're doing this and we're doing that, and y'all need to come do this with us, but they're not really doing that much. So that was just more of that reading their own press and thinking that they're doing something great, and we can rock with y'all if y'all could just do what we're bare minimum doing, but they're not really doing that damn much. Silent Lamont in the
wait.
building. You had something else?
Yeah, it's something else.
Oh, go ahead.
And Obsidian, didn't you do a story about I guess it was one of the black magazines that went to the dogs because of the they weren't paying their writing staff?
That's right.
And because when they say, well, we're strong and independent, we started businesses, meanwhile they're starting their businesses and it's being run into the dogs. That's not a good outcome. And it was crazy that they weren't able. I think what was the Essence or Ebony magazine that weren't paying their freelance writer?
It was Ebony.
Yeah, because it was Ebony. Yeah, so when they talk about come back and build with us, I'm like, you just came right out your mouth and said you don't need us. So I'm like, well, listen, since you want to hang out with the ninjas and have a lot of fun, and when they destroy your life, just give them 2 words: 6 Hour. There it is. Go to 6 Hour. They can protect you. They have a whole lot of models. They got a P3, a P226. They got a P229. All that good stuff. I'm not protecting you. And most of the time, when they say that, they're usually selling a whole lot of fluff when they say, well, oh, we're strong and independent and don't need no man. So I'm just letting the fluff play out and see how strong and independent they really are during a disaster, especially dealing with these ninjas.
Right. The Ruckus says, Bernard, they're most enrolled, not most educated. I don't know. I mean, maybe I misspoke if you thought I was saying that they were the most educated. I was saying that by basically saying they're not. I was saying that to say that they're not. I guess I was speaking from the perspective of generally everybody understood at this point that that's not true, but somehow they still parrot that talking point, but everybody understand it is not true.
And when Chris
and NYC Song Man in the building says, great show, hashtag bad boomer has to go get some brunch. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat, the $20 on the super chat. Go, I'm slow today.
I want 150,000. So we can set out of court right now for $20. Man, get your.
All right, appreciate you. Roderick Beasley in the building. Go ahead, you got the floor. You have the mic.
Yo, how you doing today? I just wanted to say, just to piggyback off what Checkmate was saying, and I was speaking in the chat, like, I think the problem is a lot of brothers who look at Kevin Samuel's show, they don't look at the 3 and 4 years past when he was telling brothers to get themselves together. And they're looking at the show to watch women get perceivably getting down, when the real message he's telling dudes is, if you get yourself right, you got your pick of the litter of any woman that you want. And a lot of guys watch that show and misunderstand the message that he's putting out there. Yes, he's also telling women that you don't qualify for this guy or this guy has to do that. But how many of you average guys sitting around playing PlayStation all day or doing extra things outside of working your 9 to 5 to lie yourself so women don't sit there and be able to talk about you? So you can level yourself up to be at a certain level. That's what the real conversation should be.
Right on. Good stuff.
I can answer that.
Go ahead. I kind of I was thrown off. When you said what you said, but the part of it that I caught what you said, Roderick Beasley, you are right that there is definitely a message in there about men getting their self together, working hard, getting their money together. Yes, that's nothing that he talks about work is if men aren't I hate to use the term leveling up for men. If men aren't leveling up their productivity, and even beyond just, yes, there are successful men that make a lot of money, but even if you're not up there, the message is clear. Yeah, you should be working 60, 65 hours a week minimum. So yeah, he's all about men getting their ass in gear and working hard and making that paper. Yeah, so definitely.
I can answer that.
Go ahead and answer what?
Well,
What are you
since
answering?
I'm answering the question.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was restate the question for me. I think I missed it. What was the question?
He's actually saying that what are we doing outside of our 9 to 5 and leveling up? Maybe I got it wrong, Roderick.
No, I'm saying the guy Checkmate was stating that because Kevin Samuels wasn't sending women towards average guys, why is he not doing his best due diligence of leveling himself up so he can get that woman?
Okay, I can answer that.
Yeah, you kind of went
why am I gonna kill myself, work 80 hours a week for a woman who decides that she
do
wants
it
to
for
be with the
yourself.
ninjas, and
you should be leveling yourself up for yourself.
No, black men do that. Black men do that, but then they're saying to themselves, why am I gonna level myself up and kill myself for 25 plus years and leveling myself up just to be treated like a slave?
Because it's called the patriarchy, bro. It's called the patriarchy. And that's what the patriarchy has always been here. Unless you're just gonna be one of the guys at the bottom that people step on, the patriarchy gonna still stay here. So you need to level yourself up so you can be part of that patriarchy.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
can get a quality woman.
Either way, a man working hard is non-negotiable. And working
and
hard
that's
and
not
being
and that's not what I'm
holy shit. A man working
sorry.
hard and being productive increases a man's options, not just with women, but with everything in life. So that part is non-negotiable. So I kind of understand where you're going. If you're talking about the way a lot of black women conduct themselves with some black man's motivation out there in the black American dating market, I can understand that argument, but that argument is a separate argument from whether or not a man should be working hard enough. You should be busting your ass. That, I mean, within reason. I mean, damn it, don't kill yourself. But yeah, no, you should be trying to be as productive as possible, regardless, and that just opens up your options for everything, including women. So yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I can't get in the car and ride with anything that says men shouldn't be striving to achieve as much as they possibly can. That's just the nature of what men have to do, in my perspective.
Yeah, but Obsidian, when you did your show about I guess it was Captain America and Lizzo, I could not stop laughing because I was like, run, Captain America, run! I couldn't believe Lizard I don't call her Lizzo anymore. I call her Lizard. I couldn't believe Lizard was trying to get at Captain America. It was so funny. I was looking at his facial expression, that the graphic that you had, and I was putting it in my head. I was like, "Run, man, run!" She looked like she was gonna eat him. That's how it looked like. It was funny. I mean, but like you said,
Nerdine, aren't you? Didn't you say you was working to get your CDL, or you already got that, but you're trying to get like the hazmat thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you got your CDL. Yeah. You got your CDL. You're trying to get the hazmat thing so you can carry toxic chemicals around and make even more money and everything. You're doing that, right? Yeah. Okay, so you're already doing it. So that's why I don't understand why you would even make that argument. Like you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that when she said we're strong and independent and don't need no man, and then come back in the same breath and say come back and build businesses, I'm like, which one do you want? Do you want to be strong and independent, don't need no man, and get yourself a 6 hour, or are you gonna stick with a black man who's competent and has something, Or
well, she said, oh my bad. Well, she said, my bad. She said, come build businesses with us, implying that they're already building businesses. We just need to come do it with them. So that was my problem with that. It was an implication that they're actually doing something great that they're not doing. Shout out to Simon. Shout out to Simon Landeritz. He says this building narrative is nonsense. Black women will sabotage anything he builds. Name 5 exceptionally accomplished black men that has both an ADOS wife and mother. Conversely, we thrive when we get away from them. Appreciate your super chat. We about to pass the mic to one. Hold on, real quick. Number 16 in the building. He says you could be Superman, and there will be a woman out there taking a shite with kryptonite in her hand. Not about to break my back to impress someone. Right? You shouldn't be breaking your back to impress someone, but your man should be working hard to accomplish as much as possible. Definitely. We got to go to Anthony Banton. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Hey, what's going
Doing
on?
great. Doing great.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just a couple quick nuggets. Now, the first thing, and I think Obsidian and Bernard, I think you kind of caught on to this. I think Obsidian is the mastermind behind the scenes, whereas Kevin has made a quite shift in his content, meaning when he's asking those soft questions, Obsidian's already kind of put it out there that he's going to make his money off of black female BFF, essentially, right? So what Kevin is doing now in asking these soft questions is he's asking the questions, and now he's just kind of sitting back and letting everybody see on camera what these women are actually thinking. So he just sits back, and then they, just like the other day, he was talking to a young lady, and she was like, okay, she had 3 children with one man, for example. And at the end of it, she said that he's crazy. So now she's basically set her set up. So when you get to the third level of questioning, that's where the conversation breaks down. So he's like, okay, so now explain this to a man where the father of your children is crazy, but you didn't see that after the first child, essentially. So you've had essentially 3 children with a crazy man. So behind the scenes, I think Obsidian, I'm not saying that's a conspiracy. I think you guys are just masterminding. I think you guys are just crafty and intelligent where you're asking the questions just to expose the delusion.
What's the thoughts on that, old man?
I agree.
All right. And then just real quick, now I have a daughter and I'll tell a quick story. So my mother, for example, my grandmother was from the Bronx. So when she raised her 3 daughters, she took them to work with her one day, and she was cleaning floors. Now, my grandfather met her in Washington D.C. She was a secretary, but when she moved to Kansas, she couldn't be a secretary. All she could do is day work. So she's cleaning the floor, she's cleaning the toilet. She has her 3 daughters there, and she tells each of them, she's like, "Okay, look, if you don't get your education, this is what you're gonna have to do." The point that I'm trying to make is that my grandmother wasn't telling them to get your education to be independent of a black man. What she was saying is to get your education so that you wouldn't have to do what day work. So what has happened is that they transitioned that into, okay, well, you don't no longer need a man, but that goes against their whole purpose. So this whole independent thing, I don't know where that came about as, but initially how it was set up was we were to get educated so that we wouldn't have to do the menial task or the menial jobs, things of that nature. And for some reason that transitioned into, okay, I want to be black, I want to be independent, things of that nature. And that wasn't what the intended purpose was. So with my daughter, for example, I tell her, I was like, okay, you're educated, that's fine, you're working on your master's, but that's not to be independent or outside that of a black man. That's if you're with your black man, and if something was to happen, if he was to lose his job, you're in a position where you can kind of hold it down for 6 months to a year to where he can get back on his feet, and then he can assume the head of the household. Because that's essentially what the answer is, that the black man has to take back over his household. Is it going to be difficult? Absolutely. But that's what has to happen in order for us to move forward.
Black Wolf Inc. in the building. I don't think I ever even heard you talk, man. This actually you? You on the panel? You got something to say?
Yes, sir. This is me. What's going
on, man? What's going on? Glad to finally hear your voice. I don't think I ever saw you jump on the panel, man. What's on your mind?
Not much. Just first off, salute to old man. Just want to say what's up to you guys. The reason why I talked about the anti-life equation is because whenever Godfather talks about the Infinity Stones and Thanos, a lot of people have to understand that Thanos and Darkseid are kind of similar characters, but the one difference is the anti-life equation is about removing free will and juxtaposed to erasing things, like the Infinity Gauntlet does. So it seems like to me what's going on right now, Godfather is really showing how the strength of the manosphere can just, what it can be when it's at full power.
Yeah.
And when a women's the women's only goal is to get this anti-life equation. I mean, I can't explain it all because it just came at the top of my head, but it's like we're in a new era. Like this is not. The old days are over. Like this is when Christ died and came back. Like I know you don't believe, but when Christ came back, the world was new. Like things change, and Obsidian, like I gotta thank you for that. Tommy Sotomayor, shout outs to him. Y'all changed the game for us. You know, we're on a new path now. That's it.
Yeah. Things have changed. That's why I always talk about to just the overall gravity of the discussions that's happening that Kevin Samuels is having on a large platform, not just the simple fact that women are seeing it, but no, men are seeing it, men are hearing it. Like men need to hear those discussions. So it's
but the crazy thing is you should be able to predict the questions he's gonna ask. It's like they don't even understand. He asked the same question: do you want a guy that makes as much money? Like
no, you raise a good point, because okay, if somebody is new, let's just say they found out about them 3 days ago and they just said, "Oh, I like this, I'm gonna call in." I can understand them being blindsided, but some women will call in there, say they've been listening for 3 to 4 months. It's like, how are you not more prepared to give a better answer than what you're giving? That blows me away every time.
Exactly.
Every time. Yeah. I don't know how they manage to not be able to just, I don't know, conjure up something. But even when they do, you just ask more questions, and eventually it comes out. Eventually it comes on out. Obsidian, if you could try to explain that one. Hold on, Obsidian. I want to hear Obsidian's thoughts on that one. The understanding that the chick that just found this show 3 days ago, okay, she's going to get blindsided by some of the ideas. But when the women who say they've been listening for 3 to 4 months call in, and they still don't sound no more better or better prepared to even deal with the questioning or understand where it's going, like, how is that possible? What's your thoughts on that?
Wait. If I can interject one time, I have literally seen Obsidian debate woman after woman with ease. And my thing is, if they can't even handle Obsidian, what makes them think they can handle Kevin Samuels at full power? It's nightmare inducing. But sorry, Obsidian.
Well, real quick, Bernard.
Hold on, Obsidian. I threw it to
sorry,
Obsidian. I'll see if Obsidian wanted to weigh in on that.
Give me the question again, just so I make sure I got it right.
Yeah, I was just trying to say that when some of the women call in, I can understand how some women new to his program, because he's picking up over 1,000 subs a day. So some women may very well be new. Some of them say, "Hey, I just found out about you 2-3 days ago." I can understand them being shell shocked or not understanding what's happening or where the conversation is going, and why they just end up just looking completely ridiculous. But then there's the ones that have been listening for 3, 4, 5 months and say, "Yeah, I've been listening to you for 4 months," and they call in and he's asked them questions, and they still sound just as ridiculous and unprepared, even though they know the line of questioning that's coming. I was just sitting there brainstorming, like, how is that even possible?
Well, because a lot of black women are horrible listeners.
Oh, okay, there it is.
A lot of black women, there's this idea, this notion that women in general are really great listeners and men are not. And we see evidence on the Jumbotron now. The thing that cracks me up about all this is that, aside from what we're talking about in particular, is that there are things about the relationship between black men and black women that can no longer be denied. And there are players on various sides of it, in this case on one side, that have attempted to present things that are just not true. That's the reason why the Derrick Jaxn debacle is so important, because it's not just about him and what he represents, but it's the entire black love business that's deeply flawed. It just doesn't work. That's what Derrick Jaxn represents, a complete breakdown of the black love business. So now you got Kevin on the other side, and behind him, basically a black manosphere army, who are, highlighting how and why so much of the relationship between black men and black women doesn't work, and much of it is because of black women themselves. It just doesn't work. You cannot build a sustainable society when the two principal people involved in that society just have such a dysfunctional relationship. You can't do it. You can't build business. You can't build commerce. You can't build education. You can't build politics. Nothing works. The relationship between black women and black men is the microcosm of society, of a black society. And if that doesn't work, what does work?
Right.
Bernard, to answer your question, the reason why is because women are not three-dimensional thinkers. We are. That's the answer. What do I mean by that? They're very good at seeing what's right in front of them. However, they can't see what's coming around the corner. And if a man is on his square, he's able to see that. Like I can see what's going to happen into the future. That's why you're supposed to have the whole relationship dynamic, because if a man is in his right mind, he can see what's coming around the corner, and that's how he's able to lead her. That's why I said with Kevin, he asked the questions not in the same order. That's what catches them. Like they come with the pen and paper, they're ready. So the first set of questions, they may do okay. The second set, not so good. But when he gets to that third level of questioning, it breaks down every single time because they're not three-dimensional thinkers. Is that all women? No, but the vast majority of them. So you're a three-dimensional thinker if you're on your square. Now the problem is, and it's not discussed, is that our women, a woman is not a threat to society. So our women have been used as a pawn. I know Obsidian, like myself, we like to watch movies. Go back and watch the old movie Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone was his wife, but she was an agent. She was there to be that way. Every time he started to wake up and come out, she was there to basically say, okay, well, to keep him in that same state. She was a pawn. Our black women have been used as a pawn against us. Why are black men raising up is because a lot of black women don't have that distraction. And like Obsidian single, I'm single. So now we're waking up. So we don't have that pawn in our household to keep us down that says, okay, baby, I know I'm making six figures, but I want to start my own business. And she's like, no, how are you going to do that? We don't have life. See, that's that distraction we no longer have because once again, women survive, men adapt. The black man has adapted, and that's why we're moving forward. But the reason why Kevin can do what he can do for the next year or so because women are not three-dimensional thinkers. Now he has to pivot slightly and change his content somewhat. Yeah, he's getting the numbers and the views, but it'll be at some point the information will become redundant. So, and then as an aside, the one thing where we don't really address the young brothers, I'll give you information to build a platform. We're talking about the high level brother, the high value man, and that's great. That's wonderful. But what needs to be introduced is the functional black man.
Yes,
For today's woman, all you need is to be functional. You need to be working towards your career or in your career. You need to have your own place. Okay. You need to be paying your own bills. So before you can even get to high value, you have to become functional. And that needs to be the next term. Just brothers, to get women out here, you don't have to be high value. But if you're functional, you have your own place. And even you, Bernard, it may sound crazy, but you're the threat. So even if you have your own place and you choose to cohabitate with a woman, you still need to have your own place outside of her because you have to protect yourself. Now that sounds crazy. A lot of us can't
No,
afford it.
actually, that don't sound crazy at all. It literally don't sound crazy at all. I understand that completely. A man having if he is cohabitating with a woman, I mean, I'm all for just owning properties. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I do understand having a property set off to the side. You know, I get it. I get it. But no, that didn't sound crazy at all.
Okay.
But no, you said some good stuff, and I like how you brought up the functional man. Sort of like when Kevin Samuels says, "Look, I can't snap my finger and produce a 100% population of men that make X amount of dollars for y'all women." But so those of you that fail to get some high earning man, there's plenty of functional men out there, and so he might be missing the mark a little bit when he say, you know, the average guy, or what's wrong with the average guy. He probably should be saying, he probably should steal your term. Actually, what's wrong with a functional guy? You need function. A lot of y'all just need a functional guy. That's a good term. I look at the
Right. Yeah,
function
and I'm
just,
giving that for you. And once again, the tenets are you need to be in your career or working towards it. That means you're on your purpose, as we all talk about. Okay, you need to have your own place, and you need to be paying your own bills. And if you're able to do that outside of anyone else, then you have that power base. That way you can, I mean, you can choose if you want to be in a relationship or not, because you have to understand when your relationship, with what comes with the woman is headaches, and she's an extra bill. But even if you're on your purpose and you're functional, then you're at least you're able to maneuver the way you want to maneuver. You can at least take on a woman if you so choose, or take on a relationship if you so choose. So that's kind of the tenet. So that's the kind of the foundation. So yeah, that's for you to use. You know, let's get that out there. At least because right now you just have high value, and then there's not really anything outside of that. But at least if you're functional and you have the tenets of it, then
some people make this mistake of thinking that the message is, if you're not what he would define as high value, therefore low value. there's no other steps in between. Like so that's where it gets goofy. And yeah, if you're not high value, you're low value. But you're I like what you put out there. Mr. Negative Man says, who the hell ain't functional? I would consider a couch surfing homosexual to be a non-functional guy. That's what I'm talking about. See, but I like that you have that mindset, who the hell ain't functional, because that is how I think until I really stop and think about it a little more. That yes, I'm thinking every guy, bare minimum, has a source of income and a residence that he pays the bills at. In my mind, every guy has that, but apparently we can look at the data and see that that's not true. So
right,
yeah,
and ideally, if you look at it, it's actually you have a lot of situations where you have black men moving in with women, and if you're functional, you can avoid all of that.
Yeah. So yeah. I know exactly what you meant about functional. Obsidian, you was about to jump in, so hold your thought for a second. Well, let me shout out the super chats real quick. Leo Anthony in the building. He said the crazy thing is you have average black women that think they're better than the average black man and believe getting with a man on their level is settling. Yep, that's one of the major points of Kevin Samuels' show as well. The average black man mostly want simple, basic things from black women. I agree with that point. And also Black Wolf came back in here with another super chat. Says Derrick Jaxn 722K, Kevin Samuels 732K. The prophecy has been seen to fruition. Shout out to Black Wolf. Appreciate the super chat and appreciate you coming on up, man. That's something that you normally don't do. I think Bolo or somebody just asked for the link. The link is pinned up at the top. You can just go up to the top and click on the link. Sunjata Reborn says unhappiness is when reality doesn't match expectations. Kevin Samuels is helping black women have more realistic expectations that, along with him encouraging therapy, are solid steps to helping the black community and black men. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Are solid steps.
Yeah.
Oh man, you was trying to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I have a different tack on all this and what from what was presented. And I guess my take on it is, well, if we have so many, to use the brother's term, Anthony's term, non-functional or unfunctional or dysfunctional men, then my question, my position is that that's a manifestation of the dysfunctionality of Black America in general, which leads back to breakdown in community, family, and ultimately the breakdown between black man and black woman. That's my first point. My second point, I like the way Kevin sets things up because my thinking is this: I'm gunning to be that, and then we'll have a conversation to see who's who. See, I have a very stringent list of what I require in a woman, and I can do that. Once I meet this list, the only question becomes, can you meet my list? And I enjoy the women that, how many DQs I can give out. DQ, 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 DQ. Very, very, I got the big six. Where'd you go to school? Immediately go to U.S. News and World Report, see where you rank. Immediately. Where you rank. Height, weight, dress, size. Immediately go to see where you rank. See, my thinking is this: be careful what you wish for, ladies. You just might get it. You just might get it. What if you do get that brother that can tick off all those 6 boxes on Kevin's? Notice how I did that. The big 6 is a mirror of the high value man 6. 6 points there, 6 points here. What happens if you get it? Then what? You have to actually apply. I require a 1,000 word written sample to test cognitive ability. I'm a writer. I get paid to write and have for a long time. I'm only asking what is my level. Are you on my level? I get paid to write. That's what I do. So I require 1,000 word writing sample. Go. All you have to do for me is look good, bang me, and do the Miss America wave. How hard can that be? You don't have to cook and clean. You don't have to pop out babies. All you have to do is look good, sex me, Miss America wave. How hard can that be? But you do have to meet the requirements because the standard is the standard. How many ladies are going to get the DQ?
No, I'm in agreement with
that. Golden is in the building with a super chat. He says, once Kevin said high value men can afford to cheat, traditional values should be thrown out the window. Now that's Kevin Samuels' position, and I don't exactly make the same argument as him, but either way it goes, you're going the wrong way or wasn't listening if you said because only a simple would allow a high earning woman to cheat if it was reversed, and that's irrelevant to the point that he was making, that second part of what you said. But I'm not even trying to break that down because I'll be making somebody else's argument. My position on the whole thing is a little different. So yeah, that's something that you got to take up with Kevin Samuels. He has smoke shows and he entertains those arguments and those questions all the time. But yeah, I'm not going to even go down that rabbit hole. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that.
No, real quick, Obsidian. No, I agree with all what you're saying. But Bernard had said on a previous show, and he had mentioned, he was like, it was eventually going to get to the point where they said, oh, well, you're not high value anyway. Well, we can avoid that because then he can come back as a functional man and say, hey, I pay all my bills. Everything that you see, I own, I take care of. So that eliminates that argument. And then just real quick on in response to the super chat, which I've been trying to get out there for a long time. Look, it's not cheating. A man can have more than one woman. However, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. A man can have more than one woman. The problem is that if you go back and if you watch the old series of Insecure, where Molly was dealing with a brother and he was in an open marriage. The problem that you have is that the woman does not want to do it in order. What are the two emotions that galvanize the black woman? Jealousy and boredom. See, they don't want to do it in order. See, they want to be able to check your phone, come by your place unannounced. See, they want it because why? They're agents of chaos. And I can show you a video on that with Joy Taylor, where she says she's a stark anarchist, that she loves chaos. Women are agents of chaos. That's why they need to have that man to provide order. But a man can have more than one woman. It's not cheating. But once again, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Once again, you have to be on your purpose. You got to be able to take on all that additional. You got to be able to afford all that. But it's not cheating because a man can have more than one woman. The problem is that a woman doesn't want to do it in order. Why? Because she's galvanized by jealousy and boredom. And that's the issue that you have in your relationships, is that once the woman gets bored, that's essentially, and that's the reason why they have that problem with marriage. See, in order to get married, a woman has to be able to embrace monotony, because every day is going to be the same. You're going to run into the same thing day after day after day. Well, that's not their nature. And then Cyndi Lauper say girls just want to have fun. See, when they get bored, then that's what puts a strain on the relationship.
I disagree.
I'll say that. I'm going to pass the pass the Bolo.
Can I ask a question? I just wanted to ask a question. What do you guys?
I got you in a second. I just make it real simple with that. You get what you negotiate. If whatever you, I mean, I don't overthink. That's why I say my position is different from Kevin Samuels. There are some people who have arrangements in marriages and relationships, and if that's what you want, you're going to get what you negotiate, and that's that. And everybody can write their own ticket of how they want to relationship. There are relationships that work better and are more functional than others, but hey, get what you negotiate. Try to make it make sense within the paradigm of your relationship. And shout out to Naima. Came back in here. I ain't seen you in a minute, and you gonna come right through here cracking jokes on me, calling me a nerd. Get out of here. I just play. Shout out to Naima. Bolo. Oh wait, no, Obsidian, you was trying to say something.
Yeah,
just Bolo.
I disagree with Anthony, because black women, if you look in the past century, this is a recent development with black women. Black women coming right out from slavery, at the end of the 19th century, going into the 20th century, and going all the way up until, basically the early 1970s, were the opposite of what he was describing. So this is a recent development. And it tells me that something happened over that course of time to bring us to where we are right now. Now, whether or not we need to go back to it or do something different, that's a different discussion. But the idea that this is the nature of women, how do we explain what our grandmothers and our aunties and stuff like that did, in some cases moms did, in times past? It's completely different. Completely different. And my thinking, again, so I could pass it over to Bolo, my thinking is I have absolutely no problem striving to be a high value man, because the question then becomes, ladies, what if Obsidian makes it? Then what? What if he actually pulls it off? Then what?
What do you mean?
Well,
he's saying if he makes it, now his options are limitless. So what you may have once qualified to be with Obsidian, that may no longer be the case.
That's an excellent way of putting it. Excellent. Couldn't say it better myself.
What do you guys consider to be a high value man?
Holy shit!
He's already laid it out in detail.
Well, I'm sorry, I came in late.
I use that schema. That's good enough for him. Good enough for me. Good. That gives us a 6-point piece, and we go with that. And Sweet Pea, I don't know why he doesn't come up here and join the panel. Sweet Pea, come on up here, because he said you would still be undesirable, Obsidian. You know what's interesting though?
Hey, hold on, Sweet Pea. Hold on, wait, real quick. Sweet Pea, you cool people. I be laughing and joking with you a lot, but don't be disrespecting the old man. Cut it out.
I don't take it as offensive. What's fascinating to me is, as I've evolved over the past 3 years, black women have gotten quiet.
Mm-hmm.
But black men have gotten louder. And I want to examine why that is. Why are so many black men like Sweet Pea
I think Sweet Pea is a woman. Sweet Pea is a woman. That's a woman.
Is a woman? Okay.
Yeah, Sweet Pea diabetes.
She's rare because.
Well, it better be okay.
Can I address?
I just wanted to finish. Why are so many black men so dead set on what black women think about me, when black women themselves have gotten quiet?
Well, you're a polarizing figure, and you say a lot of shit to get on people's nerves and piss people off. And
how am I getting on anybody's nerves? I'm simply saying I have no problem working and striving to be this. What does that have to do with anybody else?
Yeah, Obsidian, you go around poking bears and bears poke back.
How
And
am I poking a bear if I say
you're not poking it by
how am
you're
I
not
poking a
poking
bear at anybody else?
you're not poking it by doing that, but I mean, look, okay, yeah, look, okay, you're a polarizing figure and people take shots at you, and
Yeah, but
it is what it is.
what I'm saying is, if I'm saying I'm striving to be it says nothing about nobody else. You didn't hear me say anything about anybody else. I have no problem with what anybody else chooses to do. I'm striving to do this. Why does that bother others so bad?
I think it's that. Well, I don't know. I'll just say I don't know. I don't know. I have my own little theories that I kind of touched on that I'm not even getting into it. You know people don't like you, and they just don't like you, and they don't like you because they don't like you, and that's just all it is to it. It don't really matter what you're saying. So you say enough stuff to piss people off, and then when you say something else, they'll just come at you and say, "Nah, that's some bull. You can't do that. This or that. Blah blah blah." Because it is what it is. Bolo TV.
Hey, brother. How
You
doing?
wanted to say
Yeah.
something before.
I asked a question and I think I got shot at, but thank you for allowing me on your platform. I just wanted to know the definition. I was asking Obsidian, what did he consider the definition of a high value man is?
All right, this is what I will recommend for you to do. Just type in Kevin Samuels. I think you can type in Kevin Samuels' definition.
Okay, so you're going off of Kevin Samuels.
No. Okay, hold on. Let me make. Okay, I guess I got to make my position clear.
Okay.
When it comes to the term high value man, I've said this before. I really don't give a shit. I do understand that in many ways it's a viral social media meme right now that has caught fire, and so it's kind of just a thing. But in real life and practical reality on the ground, yeah, I just say a man should wake up every morning and try to be better than he was yesterday and work hard and do as much as he can to achieve and accomplish as much as he can in his life and just constantly move the needle, as Obsidian says, but move the needle and be better each day and try to, accomplish as much as you can. I don't play the high value man thing, who's in, who's out. I don't really do it. I'm not concerned with that. I don't get caught up in the definition of some term. Like I had a way of measuring a person's value before the term high value man went viral.
Right.
So I don't lose sleep over viral memes. I just don't. I'm a high value man. Look at me. And I don't do that. I don't do that.
What?
For the record,
go ahead, brother.
No, I'm sorry. And for the record, because there's a number of brothers in the chat room that seem to have this misunderstanding, and C Boogie Productions do as well. I've gone on record numerous times on my platform and elsewhere to say I am a work in progress.
Okay, and what are you working on?
To become a high value man. Why not?
Okay, so is your definition of a high value man what Bernard just broke down?
No.
So what's your definition? That's why I asked.
It's what Kevin's definition is.
So what Kevin's definition and what all of these most of these men in the manosphere is breaking down is what you would consider to be a high value man.
No, I'm talking about what Kevin's talking about. Many people in the black manosphere either talk about that, or usually what they do is talk about what it isn't, or they give some amalgam. They take some points of Kevin's and then they mix in their others. I'm going straight down by the book.
Okay, so here's the issue. You made a statement which was 100% correct at I believe Anthony when you said that this out of order that women are in started. It wasn't in the 50s and the 60s because as a black family, we were all together. When welfare was introduced, this is when the breaking of the black family was created, because to gain welfare in the black community, the man had to be excommunicated out of the home.
Yeah, we all know. We all get it.
Let me finish, please. Let me rock. So with that being said, okay, it's like when you have a computer, right? And the firewall is there to protect everything and anything that comes in. It analyzes, it scans it. That's what the father is. That's what the husband is. He's the firewall in that computer. He scanned what comes in, what guy's going to date his daughter, blah, 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 blah. So the separation of the black man out of the home, we no longer had our order. Our position was taken, and our black women married the government. So now when they gained their independence, they had no reason to hear the black man, to reverence the black man, to sit there and say that he is a part of the life. So this is where the disconnect starts. But we hear so much, and this is why I applaud Bernard. We hear so much about high value man and get your weight up as far as finances, get that 6 figures so that you can go out there and make and have choices. When a high value man isn't about bread, it's about having standards, morality, integrity.
But that's not what
All right, but hold it. But that's what I'm saying to you. That's the problem in the black community.
Well,
let me finish, brother. Let me finish. I understand. I'm saying in general. When I speak in general. I don't speak specifically, right? So we have to understand that there are always exceptions to the rule. Always. I don't speak for the exception. I speak for the rule. And that is the problem. The problem is what you just said. I'm talking about me. But then you want to know why that black young man that does not have an example of what a good man is, a good father is, why he robs you.
Well,
because we're so brother, you gotta let me
All
ride.
right.
Being a good dad and being a high value man are two different things.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. What I'm saying to you, it starts from the root.
I don't disagree.
I think. Wait. Time out. Okay, what's happening here is two separate conversations.
Yeah.
The conversation of high value man versus the nit and gritty core of what went wrong with the black community and how we can help it and how young black boys could grow up and become better men and this or that or blah blah. Two completely separate conversations. And here's the thing, both of them are good conversations, both of them are necessary conversations, but you don't have to redefine what Kevin Samuels laid out as high value in order to make the point that you're making. You could just do both of those separately. So I don't understand why they are intertwined. I just talked about a man striving to be the best that he could be. And I also just said, Kevin Samuels' 6-point criteria, right when it's high value went viral, I looked right in the camera and said, hey, I'm not a high value man based off, but if I'm going by the definition that Kevin laid out, and I think we should go by his definition and not redefine it. We should go by his definition because he's the only reason we're talking about it. He popularized the term. We wouldn't be talking about the term had he not popularized it. So I think that gives him full creative control to write what the definition is, and you're either in or you're out. And so it's not even a big deal. Like I didn't, when he laid out his definition, I didn't hold my head in shame. I'm still a competent, productive, hardworking adult, got a house that I own that's paid off, taking care of my kids that I got custody of, and I'm doing damn good. I can pat myself on the back and I'm getting better every day. So I don't got to get hung up because I don't meet a criteria that some other man laid out on his platform that went viral.
Well,
that's where it gets goofy and it gets stupid for me for people to lose sleep over the concept. I would like to finish too. That's why it gets goofy for me when people get hung up over the term high value to where you couldn't even make a statement about the community without intertwining it into your thought process. And it don't even have to have nothing to do with your thought process.
Because there's a reason for it, Bernard.
There's a reason why, because
there's a reason for it.
The reason why I said what I said, Bernard, was I was listening to the brother speak and he touched these points. So I wasn't going to make a big soliloquy about it and take too much of your time. I was just trying to hit the bullet points of what he was saying, because he did bring up the 50s and the 60s and where black women and black men separated. He did bring that up. So
we talk about that all the time.
What I was doing was addressing that. What I'm saying is I'm not trying to redefine anything. I just think that within our community as black men, so let's stay on topic then. As black men, right? The breakdown that you gave is the fundamental understanding that we should have, right? When you sit there and you say, if you want to make yourself a 6-figure dude, there's nothing wrong with that. Do your thing if you can. Strive for it. You know what I'm saying? Strive for the best. Mm-hmm. But what I see in what I hear, there's so much emphasis on the finance part. There is an emphasis on the morality, the integrity, the standing up for truth and loving yourself first. Because a lot of the times these men become 6-figure men because they want to get back. You know, when they were not making that much money, they weren't getting the women that they wanted.
Okay, all right, real quick. By the way, hold on, real quick. Time out. I'm gonna cut you off for a second. Obsidian just said what's wrong with that, and that is a fair point. But also, if you look at the definition of high value that Kevin Samuels laid out, it really had nothing. Women were not even in the definition. It has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with women. God damn it! We lost the nurse and the nerd. God damn it! I knew I should have cut you off sooner. The nurse and the nerd, come back. I've actually heard of your channel. I don't know that much about you, but I do
channel me
enjoy. No, it was somebody with the channel called the Nerd and the Nurse or Nurse and the Nerd. I think it's some couple that has a channel. Please come back, and so I can. Yeah, there she go. Okay, or there she go, or there he go. I don't know if this is the nurse or the nurse, or maybe the guy is the nurse and the woman is the nurse.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I don't know who. I don't know who is who. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself. I like to hear new voices. So go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hi, Bernard. Hello, Obsidian. Hello, Anthony. And hello, Bolo.
Hello,
Hi.
hello. Are you the nurse or the nurse?
How are you?
I'm the nurse.
You are the nurse. Okay. All right, great. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Just to add to the conversation, I think it's really cool to be able to have everyone's perspective on it. And especially the idea of, for years we've had Oprah, we had all these other women, or like Derrick Jaxn, having this example of giving a lot of women, it seems, a huge fairy tale about, oh, you guys are so grand, you're so amazing, you should want this type of man, this type of man. Whereas you have Kevin that's able to introduce a different perspective of a Black male, and it's not, oh, they're undercover or they're all in jail. And it's a different example of a standard of any type of man that is of any type of substance or whatever. So now that you have this, you even have so many women. Unfortunately, I'm like, wow, I didn't know y'all were really this crazy. You have these women come up and they don't even know what the definition is to even be a woman. You have these people that are like saying, oh, I won't cook, I won't clean, I won't do this, I won't do that. And it's like, well, how do you survive on a day-to-day? Forget having a partner. Are you just living in filth and wallowing with Burger King, sandwiches all day? Like, you're an adult. There's just certain things you're supposed to be able to look after yourself. So when you do add on those delusions of grandeur that Derrick Jaxn has given, and Oprah, and so many of them who have said, okay, you're amazing, regardless of however you look, regardless of where you're at, it's the lies. It's a feeding of the lies. So now that Kevin's, again, having a different conversation, it's like, oh, wow, we didn't think that way. We didn't think that way. Well, who were you around all this time that this made sense to you? That this was okay?
Yeah. No, yeah, good points there. Good points. Obsidian, I think you were trying to jump in and say something. You got it.
Yeah. Okay. So the problem I'm having with Bolo is, number one, he doesn't even know what Kevin is talking about.
Makes you say that?
Because, okay, tell me what the 6 points of a high value man.
Listen, sir. I asked you. Listen, if I was to talk to Kevin Samuels, then I would have a conversation with Kevin Samuels. I was talking to you about what you were saying. I asked you,
and I'll give you an answer.
Hold on, let me answer you. I asked you what you thought, the same way.
Do you know what his list
is? Hold on. The same way Bernard.
You don't know what the list is, man.
Give me the list, brother. Give me the list of what you.
That's my
give me
point.
the list. But
no,
see,
oh my goodness.
I'm using
you're a man. That's what I'm saying. If you're a man,
his list.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't know it, so we can't even have a same frame of reference here.
That's why I asked you. What do you consider a high value man? That was your time to say, okay, Bolo, this is what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Why can't you go and do the research?
Because I'm here talking to brothers about.
But that's the problem.
Educating. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. If you have a chance to educate a brother,
he's been doing this all year.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm breaking this up. We had the 3-hour mark. We got Lion.
I have one other thing to say.
Okay, you can go ahead and say that. I'm gonna pass it to Lion.
On the point. Our good friend, our young brother, Cut to the Chase, says in response to me, still a work in progress at age 52. We call that a failure. Well, cut to the chase. That's usually how it is when you're, a 20-something-year-old know nothing. I know about that life because I was a 20-something-year-old know nothing too. And anytime anybody wants to consult a 20-something know nothing about what they think about the world, I'm pretty sure people will know where to find you. Thank you.
27-year-old people that are millionaires building that are geniuses.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
asking
Let's
you a
not
simple
let the
question.
conversation derail to
Oh, you're right, brother.
absurdity.
You're right, brother.
Let's
You're right.
let's just chill. I mean, once we make it into the third hour, people the person who attacks and all that just come hard and heavy. But we got somebody new on the panel. I don't even got the screen up, so I can't even see your name. I know it said Lion something. I can't even see it. Lion. I'm pulling it up right now. Go ahead. You got them like you got them like Lion Menelik or something like that. Go ahead. You got the floor. And going once, going twice. So to Pablo Fresco Bar in the building. You have the floor. You have the mic. And I like to
Hey,
thank
what's up?
everybody who in the building. I do appreciate it.
How you doing, Pablo?
Good audience today. Go ahead, Pablo. You got the floor.
All right, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've run into this the past week in the manosphere space, and it also happened on Obsidian's show a couple of months ago. And this is one thing that I'm noticing about a lot of black men and black people in general. ADOS black people in general.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a lot of us don't accept professional advice or expertise. Let me give you an example. Months ago, Obsidian was doing a show and the general was on, and the topic of leadership came up. Now, for a little background, the general was a career military man, an NCO, non-commissioned officer in the military. He leads men for a living in the most powerful military on the planet. They have schools devoted to that he attends regularly to learn to lead men into battle where they could lose their life. And he laid out the definition of leadership. And you know what them Negroes said? Well, that's what you say it is, but this is my definition. I was on the other day, I was trying to get on, and they were talking about this trial and everything that happened and use of force and all of that. I got a BA in criminal justice. I got a master's degree in public administration. I was a probation and parole officer for 7 years on the intensive supervision caseload in the Virginia Department of Corrections. Murderers, rapists, robbers, child molesters, all of them. I was a deputy sheriff for 3 years in a county outside of Atlanta. Sworn peace officer. And I would run down case law, Graham versus Connor, on the use of force. Them Negroes still didn't want to believe that. They didn't want to believe it. I told Fantastic, Chauvin's going to get convicted. Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I told Obsidian hours before the verdict came out, he's going to get convicted if they're coming back with this verdict that soon. Did not, Obsidian. So an image consultant, a man who judges people for a goddamn living, tells you Negroes what a high value man is, and you don't want to accept the definition. You want to add your own shit to make yourself feel good. Because you're insecure. Grow up and be a man and accept where you are in life. That doesn't mean you ain't shit. It just means you're not that. A lot of you hear this and you say, well, I ain't shit. Just like those women here, well, you can't have a high value man. Well, I can't have a man worth shit then. No, that just means you can't have that man. That doesn't mean you can't have a good man. It doesn't mean you can't have a good life because you're not a quote unquote high value man. That doesn't mean you're not of value. You Negroes hear what you want to hear.
That's it.
Good stuff, Pablo. Good stuff, Pablo. And we gotta go to the one and only Big Ike in the building. What is going on? Welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ike, what's going on, man?
What is up? Yes, and I thanks for the book,
Pleasure, man.
Mr. Old Man, Mr. Obsidian. Yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I just wanted to chime in real quick on this whole high value man discussion. It is a pet peeve of mine, and I think that people make category mistakes. I will agree 100% with Pablo, and I just want to add the categories here. What is value? Value is something worth pursuing. There are many things worth pursuing we not agree in terms of human life. And then when we choose a thing to pursue, there will be a sort of virtues, right? Traits, attributes required for the attainment of this value, right? So if you want to be a warrior, there are certain things that you're trying to achieve. Hence, there are certain virtues that are required, and there's a warrior hierarchy. There's Mad Dog Mattis and General Patton, those people on top there. There are things that they respect, and it has nothing to do with whether he has money in his pocket, correct? So, and then we have the merchant class. There are things that they're pursuing over there, and there are things in which the ways of measuring them, right? You have what people tend to do is they bring in the priestly class of values, right? The saint, let's say, and they want to say, well, how about my good morals? It turns out that those are actually the hardest to measure, by the way. And it also turns out that the merchant class virtues are the easiest to measure. And bleeding one into the other, number one, is a mistake. But then for Kevin to say, hey, in a modern day capitalistic world, where, by the way, if you're going to present some kind of measure of value, you present the easiest ones to measure. And also we're in a modern day capitalistic world, so presenting merchant class values is not crazy. People start talking about, well, how about me? I'm a priest. Or how about me? I'm a warrior. It's like, dude, nobody said anything about priests or warriors, you idiot. It's like, and if you want to be a priest or warrior, yeah, go be that and be recognized by that ilk. Okay, go be a monk in a monastery somewhere. Let people write books about you later on. I don't understand the need for it. As a matter of fact, even if you just talk about morality purely and simply, there are different kinds of morality. Have you heard about the Old Testament and the New Testament? You think Jesus, I mean, the morality of Jesus versus the morality of King David, these are two different kinds of things. It has to do with the ends being pursued. In the Old Testament, you're out there slaying people and getting the milk and honey here on this earth. Okay, it's about valor, it's about conquest, it's about concubines and all those kinds of things. That's what was considered to be good. That's warrior prince class. We understand the prince warrior class. These people have to go out there, they have to conquer the world, they have to protect us. They still exist today. We need them. We also need the merchants, right? And they have to pursue their ends, and they have virtues required for that. And then you have the priestly, let's say, wise man, sage type class. People should stop mixing these things together. Each of these things have different values to pursue. You cannot pursue all things all together at once. And of course, as we know, we have to take from each of these. We want some valor. We want some patriotism. We also want some wisdom in our lives. And also we want to be able to handle money and so on and so forth. But the idea that we bring our emotions into it, like, oh, well, you know, I don't like the fact that I'm not measuring up in this particular category, like the last person was saying, right? It's all emotionalism. And by the way, they're clean categories. Men used to understand this. You want to go rise up in the ranks in the warrior class, warrior prince type, go do that. You want to be a prince, want to be a priest, sage type, go do that. You want to be a merchant type, go do that. But shut up about bleeding it together and making all this stupid, silly arguments sounding like children. That's all I wanted to say.
But
very
all of them
well
had,
said.
but
Very
all of them
well
had one clue, right? Didn't all of them have? They all had a fundamental line that connected them. They all had integrity, they had truth, and they moved a certain way. Yeah, they all based off different places. Some people wanted to be warriors, some wanted to be scholars, or whatever the situation might have been. But they all had one thing that intertwined them all, right? Integrity, truth, so forth and so on. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Regardless of whatever you want to be in life, there should be a few traits that everything should have that work together. Now they branch off, but they all should have one root.
Ike, go ahead and respond to that if you wish to.
100%. I agree with that. And if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for example, all the way at the top, there's this thing, you know, the self-actualization, right? Whether or not you're in the bottom level trying to just get bread and water and this and that, or you are doing some other things, there is a thread there about being true to yourself, being true to reality, right? To the best of your ability to understand it. The fact that the Old Testament and the New Testament, just speaking of a particular tradition, are together shows you that there is a thread between King David, warrior prince type, and the turning of the other cheek type.
Right.
What the clean demarcation I'm trying to make here is that that's what now we're having a philosophical conversation and we've moved past this basic thing. I don't see the need to bring up the philosophical conversation when somebody just says, hey, look at these, let's pick this particular set of attributes here. Modern day Western capitalist society, merchant class type values. We all recognize it. Why can't we just act like we recognize it? Why do we have to then say, okay, well, let me raise the conversation up to the level whereby there's complementarity? You're talking about complementarity. Yes, there's connections between these things. Not picking on you in particular, but I don't think that there's a need to raise the conversation up to the level of complementarity when people can't even get the basic things.
Well, I think the
I think hold on real quick. Yeah, so I think the ultimate problem that Bolo was having is that when you lay out all the other categories that do have a certain level of importance, and I think that he was having a problem with, I think he was under the impression that it was being said that people that fall in those categories have no value or should be looked down upon or something. And I don't think anybody who was having a
that's not what I was saying, Bernard.
Okay,
that's not
well,
what I was saying. What I was
right,
saying is, can I tell you what I was saying? Okay.
I know. Well, I want to poke at something real quick. You did come up and even after Ike said everything that he said so perfectly when he first spoke, the first thing that you said, yeah, but those other categories, they have a value, they have some intrinsic value, or they have some type of value, or some type of I forgot exactly how you worded it, but
I can say it again because you're saying you're misquoting me. So if you're going to rebut what I said, quote me correctly, please.
Oh, don't get sassy about it.
No, I'm not getting sassy about it.
No, I didn't. I wasn't being deliberate or insidious in misquoting you. I literally said I forgot what you said, and then I more or less passed it to you. So that whole comment was unnecessary. Okay,
I'm sorry. What I was saying to him was that all of those categories that he mentioned, all of those categories have a common thread. Regardless of which way the branches go, they have a root, which comes with truth, integrity, and standing on your square. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I know, but to come up here and make that point, it seems as if there was a implication there that somebody was saying that wasn't the case, and I don't think anybody said that.
Well, when I
listen, that's why, and I think that's why Ike assumed that you were in some type of way trying to merge things together, or not just look at, okay, this one thing, if call it high value or high whatever, instead of just categorizing it and saying, yes, this group of people over here, they have these attributes and that's what they are, and this other group of people over here have these attributes and that's what they are. It did seem as if, and I think everybody in the audience would agree, that you did try to conflate and merge everything together to try to put everybody in the same basket. But everything that you're saying now is something that everybody, I believe, generally can agree with. So I do think you are understood after everything has been broken down, or you just changed your position on the fly when you realized that you were losing. Okay, all right, one or the other. one or the other. Hold on, real quick. I'm about to get off the air real soon, but I do want to pass the Game Changer, see what Game Changer got to say before we get off of the air. Go ahead, Game Changer.
Actually, Ike said it best. I was going to, say something to Bolo TV's rebuttal, but you covered that, so I'm good.
Now, just real quick, I think what essentially Bolo was saying is there's three elements, let's say, as far as manhood. We touch on it: protect, provide, and then he's saying, okay, so now you're high value. That last element is lead. He's saying, so in terms of your household, how are you going to lead? And so what he was essentially trying to do is bring in those additional characteristics, meaning that once you take back over your household, you're going to lead your household according to what? And he's just trying to introduce those other elements.
Just to add to what Anthony is saying, that I heard before I jumped on, I listened to you guys for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and I hear other people. So I don't want to give no one no clout on your channel. So I hear other people. And a lot of the times the focus is the money side. It's maybe 90% of the focus. It's not about becoming loving yourself first before you love anybody else. It's not about integrity. It's not about truth.
Hold on. Those are not the attributes that are connected with high value. Those are important attributes.
Bernard, I'm sorry to cut you off, Bernard, but let me.
Literally.
I think I have a good thing that kind of will resolve this. What that high value, thing that Kevin brought out. Number one, it's definitely in the particular class. It's mercantile stuff or merchant stuff, right? Number two, he talks about the explicit attributes. He's not talking about the implicit things. But he said, okay, so you have this kind of amount of money, and then you have it for an amount of time. It takes certain characteristics. Now, going to the implicit things, right? You're not going to have this string of barbershops all over Milwaukee and all that kind of stuff and be established without being a man of truth. And also, remember, he says also that you have to have a network of people who accept you in. If you are a liar, piece of crap, and nobody trusts you, will they accept you? Would you be useful? Which is another attribute, right, that he mentioned. So the thing about Kevin's list is...
Did Madoff have money? Was he a man of truth?
No. Okay, he didn't last, and I'm saying that he didn't last. There were a lot of people who did not trust him.
But the point that I'm trying to make to you is that the point that you just made is moot. Everyone that has money is not a man of truth. They're not men or women of truth. Everyone that has money.
Let me restate what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are characteristics that are implicit in this.
Okay.
Going for the exception, saying that you can cut corners and so on and so forth, is one of those things where it's like you're picking things where it's like, well, we all know that. We all know you could pick up a gun tomorrow, go rob a bank, and all those other kinds of things, right?
Correct.
Do we need to make it explicit?
I think in this day and age, in how we're living and how the Black community is destroyed, especially with the younger men, yes, we do. We need to be specific because they need that. That's just my opinion. I believe we do need to make it specific because they have not had examples for them to see.
Now you're moving to another category of something necessary that's not necessary to the conversation of high value. Like, I mean, I understand, like you said before, it's different branches. They all lead back to the same tree. We get it, but I don't understand why. Okay, if I take what you're saying at face value, and I take that you are saying something good, you are talking about what's wrong with the Black community and what can fix it. Those are good things. That's a noble cause. I don't know why you're putting that noble cause in opposition to what Kevin Samuels is talking about when he's talking about high value, because it's categorically something different, even though it can connect somehow. I just don't understand, what are you in opposition to? It's like you're a solution trying to find a problem. It's like
I'll tell you.
It's not making sense. I mean, what you're saying in a vacuum by itself, yes, is making sense. Coming up here presenting what you're saying as a counter to what Kevin Samuels is saying, it doesn't make sense in that context. It doesn't.
Well, this is what I'm going to say, and then I thank you for allowing me on your platform. I didn't mean to cause such discourse in your platform. That's not the purpose.
No. I like debate. I like debate. I love it. I love debate.
The purpose of me coming up, because like I said, I listened for 45 minutes. I heard everything, and everything that you guys were saying was on point. What I'm saying is there are fundamental things that we need to add to this so that we all can grow, even though this is for a specific branch, What I'm saying is it affects us all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the things that you're saying that needs to be added, I mean, by all means, we have conversations about that all the time. We always have those conversations. So maybe this is your first time listening to my show. I don't know, but we have those type of conversations all the time.
This is.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Yeah, go scroll through the archive.
I subbed to you too. So
yeah, definitely go look at the conversation me and Ike had. I think it was called something about reining in female chaos or establishing male hierarchy. I forgot what it was called, but it was basically we've had plenty of conversations about what men need to do in this world, in this Western world that's going awry. Put it like that. So we have those type of discussions, man. We do that all the time. That's why what you're saying isn't bad. It's just that you're putting it in opposition to something that it doesn't have to be in opposition to. That's my analysis of what's going on there. But
so
like
can I say something?
Yes. You're going to say something, and then I'm going to give Obsidian the final words, and then we're going to have to get up out of here.
Okay, I think a lot of us as Black men want to feel useful because we've been told by so many people, particularly Black women, that we are useless. They don't need us. We don't have a place in society. They can do everything without us. So, in an attempt to kind of display our usefulness, we want to tell everybody that the features that or the characteristics that we have in abundance are the most valuable to Black society. Whether it's being a man of virtue, moral virtue, or whether it's being a man of wealth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Bolo, but do you feel that you were coming in to kind of display your particular virtue to the Black community and the
Not at all.
importance of it? Or do you feel that
I
virtue is
came to
overlooked?
add, like I said before, I hear a lot of men, and like I said, this is the first time I've heard Bernard's channel. So listening to it for 45 minutes, all I hear is money, 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 and high value this, high value that. That's all I heard. So again, like he said he has conversations with Ike pertaining to truth, integrity, so forth and so on. What I was bringing to the table was pertaining to being a high value man. It's not only outwardly, it's also inwardly. That was the point that I came to bring. And
yeah,
I didn't come. I'm not one of those guys that wants to come into a platform just to feel that he's needed. But go ahead.
Well, I'm assuming that you are a man of inward virtues, correct?
Inward and outward. I'm not a man that don't have that's not a value or high value. Go ahead.
You say you're not a man that's not of value.
That's not of value or high value, meaning I'm not a man that comes in and does not have outwardly value. Also, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. We're gonna pass the mic to the old man. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic. Take us home. Take us out of here.
Thank you.
All right.
Bernard, hey, I appreciate you once again, Bernard.
Hey,
Thank you, Mr. Bernard, for allowing me on your platform, bro.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Come again. Everybody who hopped on the panel. I like to hear new voices. I like debate. I like disagreement. And when it can be civil, which you did have some civil disagreements, and I think some clarity was had by the end of the conversation. And so
it took a minute.
Yeah, we good. All right,
hey,
all right,
quick,
fellas.
You guys, if you get a chance, check out Mediocre's response video that he had done. Two young ladies that did an interview with Shahrazad Ali, and I would encourage you to go watch that video.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It was really good.
I didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail. I was planning on watching it later. But all right. With that said, we up out of here, y'all. Peace.